Welcome to another episode of the panel. As you can see from the title of the show, the Dallas Mavericks might just be done. Now, in case y'all don't know, the Dallas Mavericks have been on a very slippery slope, and they have fallen off in the last month or so. Quite frankly, due to injuries. Remember, Kyrie got injured, came back. Luka got injured, and he still hasn't returned. Maxi Kleber just got hurt. Derek Lively is also out for an extended period of time. And as of right now, the Dallas Mavericks aren't really looking too good. We got updates that Luka will potentially be back before All-Star break, but that might not be soon enough to save the drowning Dallas Mavericks. Swiper, Big Ox, talk to me about what's going on in Dallas and if they'll be able to turn it around anytime soon.
Well, I mean, obviously, it just depends on how soon Luka comes back. I mean, I like Maxi Kleber, but I think they'll be okay without him. It's you know what I'm saying? It's just really about when Luka comes back. If Luka come back before the All-Star break, I don't see no reason why their playoff hopes will be over. In fact, Ron, I think you're reaching with this title a little bit.
Well, the Mavericks have fallen to the 9th seed. They're 24-22. 4-6 in their last 10 games. And Ox, the only team lower than them that's in the playoffs is you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Phoenix Suns trending up, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're the 8th seed. You guys are 7-3 at the 10th seed below them. Those two teams are trending up. And also, the Minnesota Timberwolves have looked a lot better too. Those two teams are trending up, and the Dallas Mavericks are going the other way.
Well, you know how it is, Ron. You know, it's basketball is a game of runs, and it's a season of runs. You know what I mean? There's 40 games to play, give or take. You know, a few, and that's plenty of games to make anything happen. Shit, the Mavericks can end up in the 12th seed, or they can end up in the 7th, 6th seed. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not reaching there. There's a chance that their playoff hopes might be over.
Yeah, but I think you're insinuating more so that their playoff chances are over. And you also said
I'm asking.
Right. Well, I don't know. I think they're far from over. I think they're very far from over. I think the Mavericks could end up, like I said, in the 5th seed. You know what I'm saying? So with Luka Doncic around, anything is possible. And if he comes back before All-Star break, as a matter of fact, if he's coming back before All-Star break, they're making the playoffs. There's no chance they don't make the playoffs.
All right. We got a guest in the house tonight. What's going on, my man? Talk to the people. Let them know who you are. Let them know where you from, and let them know who you rep.
What's going on, guys? How we doing, man?
Cool.
Tell them my name is King Capers, sports content creator. Got a podcast with Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons' brother. I'm from Philly. Glad that you guys are having me on. I appreciate it, man.
No doubt. So what you more a football guy than a basketball guy?
No, both. I would say equal.
Oh, okay. And so I know that you do a podcast with Dak and Micah, and I know the teams they play for. And I know the area. I'm insinuating the area that you're in. You got the Oklahoma City jersey, so yeah. Texas, Oklahoma. Is it a certain allegiance that you stand with in football too?
Well, actually, I'm from Philly, so it's not. I was looking real scary right now for the Cowboys, bro. Especially with Philly going to the Super Bowl.
So you are a Cowboys fan?
I am a Cowboys fan, though. Yes, grew up into it. Just kind of inherited from my family, but
dang. Yeah. And now y'all got to deal with Jaden McDaniels for the next 10, 15 years,
bro.
Damn,
baller. You talk about a baller.
Yeah, the Giants is gonna get it together too, man. It might be a rough decade.
It might. I don't know though. I mean, they got a lot of stuff they got to do on their end, but we do too though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we here to talk hoops. Shout out to the Super Bowl though. Shout out to the Eagles. They made it happen, and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But Penn, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the Dallas Mavericks as of right now?
I feel like they can go either way. I mean, they need to make a trade. And they have a lot of issues. I mean, I spent when I knew we were going to talk about the Mavericks, I was like, let me really dig into what's been going on with this team. And there's a lot going on with this team. It's injuries across the board. It's Jason Kidd's offensive system. It's Klay Thompson's touches. you know, and frankly, it's a lack of depth behind Daniel Gafford right now. Why do you look confused?
Do you not see the super chat on the screen? I'm sorry, Pen. Continue. Keep going.
No, I did not see. What was it?
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Keep
going. Keep going. I don't want to derail the conversation.
You just did. I mean, geez. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I think they need to make a deal, and I think that probably the Maxi Kleber contract plus Omax is probably what is gonna take.
How long has this crew been together? So Luka been on the crew since 18. They just got Gafford last year. They just traded for Gafford last year. They just got Lively.
Washington.
They just got PJ Washington. Irv, they got him last year.
They've only been there for 2.5 years and under.
Yeah.
Right. So Najee Marshall and I think this crew can stay together for a while because PJ Washington isn't an old he isn't an old guy. He's still a young guy and he's still got a lot of years left in him. I don't know how many more years Irv has though. Especially at this level, and not just Irv, but I mean I can see Irv. This back issue looks like it's bothering him, and it's been bothering him for quite some time. In addition to him, Luka's been coming up lame. With Luka coming up lame, I mean, is this just one of those seasons where they just been broken down and we're gonna have to scrap this season, or is this a season that we can save?
I don't believe in wasting prime seasons of top 5 players.
I don't either, Penn. I'm not gonna say that neither.
So
I don't believe in that.
Unless
neither.
you're shutting Luka down for the season and committing fully to the tank, in which case, you know, by all means, trade Gafford as well while you're at it. If you're not doing that, if there's some hope that he's going to come back, it's way too late to tank for Cooper Flag. You're not catching the Phillies and the Charlottes and the Washingtons of the world. I don't want to see you compromise because like the way this team is built, the way they were going, they're good enough to be a 2nd round, 3rd round team in the West. You have that kind of upside if you believe you have the health. A little bit of luck in the playoffs, you don't know. Like maybe you have all this negative injury luck right now. Maybe there's other teams that are gonna have negative injury luck later. I mean, shit, man, got it out of the way early. I don't know. I think they need some depth. I think they need to find a way to activate their offense without Luka. And I'm not sure how you feel about their offense right now without Luka. He's obviously a very big part of what they do. He is what they do. He is their system. But in the absence of him, can you not find a way to get Klay Thompson more touches?
Well, they were winning. They were winning when he was out of the lineup. Yeah, they were definitely winning when he was out of the lineup. They were rolling when he was out of the lineup. They played a lot faster. They were playing better defense. That was largely due to why their offense was better. That's number one. Number two, my question to you, Penn, is when I look at this group, I've always felt like when you make a move on a team, and you and I disagree on this, but I felt like when you make a move on a team, you make a move because this is it. This is probably as far as we're going to go with this group. So you're telling me that this team currently, they're a 2nd round and maybe a Western Conference Finals team. Well, that tells me we're going backwards. They was in the finals last year. So does that mean that the last year's group, is that it? Is that all I'm gonna get?
I don't think of it that way. But go ahead, swipe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think anybody that's I think everyone that's saying there should be Cooper Flag or derail the season or throw it away, I think people are just I think they're being very reactionary, not in a negative way. I think I understand it, a lot of injuries, but for me, they're currently situated to be in the play-in, and right now, if they stayed where they are, which I don't believe they're going to stay where they are, then they'll be currently slotted to play the first game of the play-in, they'll have to play the second game of the play-in. They would have to win themselves into the playoffs as the 8th seed, and if you set up a scenario
today is what you're saying, because if it ended today, what you're saying, they're the 9th seed currently. Right now, they're the 9th seed.
Yeah.
So
they would play the Kings, and then they'll play the loser of Minnesota or the Suns.
Okay.
And they could beat any of those teams.
Well, hold on.
It could also be beat by both those
but
teams.
This is my question. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, King.
I don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize. Where is this coming from? You don't think they need to just get healthy to have bad luck? I don't think they would just tank the season up. I think they're good enough. I mean, yeah, he's saying they're going backwards because they went to the finals, but I feel like they could get healthy at the right time and make a run again.
King, they was in 3rd place.
I agree.
About a month ago. They're in 9th place right now.
I'm aware. Yes, I'm aware
right now.
I'm saying as far as
that's strictly due to
yes,
injuries,
but
so.
that's strictly due to injuries and number C from 9 to 5 is 2 games.
Right.
1 game.
There's no reason to be
that's all I'm saying.
So quick and rush and talk about making trades and all that type of stuff. That's completely unnecessary. They need to keep playing basketball, keep getting healthy, stay in the gym, and hold on. There's like I said, there's 40 games left, give or take a couple. You know what I'm saying? To Ron's point, he said Luka might be back before the All-Star break. If Luka Doncic is back before the All-Star break, I'm telling you, there is no way possible they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that changes everything.
Even if that's true, though.
With that being said, if I'm talking about at health, I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks at full strength or one of the best teams in the West. Dallas Mavericks at full strength should 100% make another run for the Western Conference title.
But Ox,
who's their backup center?
Wait a minute, Penn. Yeah, because that part I want to stay where Ox is because Ox is making this sound. Ox, this isn't December. Half the season is already over. Ox, we don't have a lot of time.
I just said 40 games.
They had 3 healthy-ish centers last year.
They don't have to be the 1 seed nor the 2nd seed.
No, I'm not saying that part.
The Dallas Mavericks are the 5th seed, 6th seed,
another one.
For what?
Derek Lively's injured. That's
okay,
what.
Derek Lively
is he out for the season?
No,
he'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks.
Okay, well they said it's a 2 to 3 month injury about 2 weeks ago, so he ostensibly will be back at the beginning of April.
Playoffs.
And that's provided there's no setbacks.
If he's out for basically the rest of the regular season, then I don't know if they'll get.
That's a huge part of what they're doing.
No, but I guess what I'm trying to understand fundamentally in my original comments was, if they're healthy and let's say they have, which we're for every team, we're writing in the Celtics being able to bounce back from a malaise. We're writing in the fact that we think that some teams are going to continue to improve. That Chet's going to be back. Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be healthy. That OKC will be together. We're doing this for every team. So I'm saying if we're doing that for the Mavericks. And right now, they have had, if they're healthy, Luka, Kyrie, Clay, PJ, and Lively, that's one of the best starting 5s in basketball this year. They've been elite on offense and been elite on defense. If they're healthy, they would be the most dangerous team below the 4 seed in the NBA, far and away. And then on top of that, if OKC, if they were healthy and they had to play OKC in the first round, they would feel very confident in that matchup versus OKC. If things stayed as they are, they would feel very confident versus the Houston Rockets. If things stayed as they are, they would be very confident versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The only team that I think they have struggled with traditionally has been the Nuggets, but they might not even have to worry about that if the Nuggets fall off and they go to 5 or 6, or if they get high enough to where they can avoid them or whatever, or if they stay in the middle. I'm saying like Dallas would feel comfortable versus almost basically everybody in the West. And I would think if OKC had to play them first round, that could be a first round out for OKC. And that's no disrespect to OKC at all. I'm that high on the Mavs, but I'll also be clear. I also said that I think the Mavs might be the second best team in the West.
Yep.
All things on the table. Like I think they're
the Mavericks shouldn't fear any team in the West. Now, obviously, to your point, there's a couple teams they probably aren't looking forward to playing. You know what I'm saying? They're probably not looking forward to playing the Nuggets. I'm going to throw the Clippers in there. They might not look forward to playing them. They might not look forward to playing. They might not. I think they beat the dog out the Lakers too. I don't think they look forward to playing OKC. But I also think that they're not worried about anybody. I think the Mavericks can beat any team in the West.
I don't know where that came from. What matchup advantage still would the Lakers have in a series versus the Mavericks?
Their 5 spot with Anthony Davis. That's their matchup advantage right there.
So versus Derek Lively and Daniil Gafford.
Yes, he destroys him.
So through the series,
I'm going to say this one more time. Throughout a 7-game series, Anthony Davis outplays Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford.
Well, I would hope so, but functionally, then you got to go through the rest of the rosters and the rest of the team. The Mavs are going to have the best player in that series going away. I mean, that's
Ron's still a matchup advantage too, though. Like,
but they got Luka Doncic.
That's cool.
Ron, Luka not guarding each other.
But Ron. But follow up with this: who they at least have wing defenders. Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and others.
Yes, they do.
I know, but listen to what I'm saying,
Hold
Ron.
on,
the Lakers don't have.
They have a wing defender. Remember, that's
Najee Marshall is a good defender.
They
Where
have
is this
a wing defender.
Absolutely.
A is one.
And PJ Washington's a better defender than he is.
I'll give you PJ. But
you don't think Najee Marshall's a positive wing defender?
I said he is a good. I said they have a
they have
wing
two.
defender. No, I'll give you PJ. I'll give you PJ.
Ron, do you not think the Mavericks are better than the Lakers?
I didn't say that the Lakers would beat them.
As a team,
okay, wait. Whoa. Stop right here. I didn't say that the Lakers would beat them. Your original statement was the Mavs shouldn't fear anybody.
Right.
And that part I won't argue with because I don't think that they do fear anybody.
Sure, they have a better defense than the Lakers, and I'll argue with better offense.
Not my point. My point is that I like the Lakers again. I don't have the Mavs because to the Ox point, Ox got them smoking the Lakers. I think this is a much more competitive series than Ox is giving them credit for.
Why?
I think
number one, they got two of the best three players in the series. That's number one.
But chill. That's not even. But you have seen in the last several playoffs. That
don't mean nothing.
You've seen in the last several playoffs, chill. Last 3 years at least, where you can have
unless it's Boston.
Let's say like for instance, like Lakers versus Nuggets or Lakers versus Nuggets last year when Jamal wasn't like both LeBron and AD were better than Murray. But it was a 4-1 series for a reason. I'm saying, like, if you look at
wait. Why was it a 4-1 series, Swiper?
Because Michael Porter Jr. was literally uncoverable.
100%.
Aaron Gordon was uncoverable for them.
Okay.
They didn't have anybody to be able to play defense consistently on off-ball actions and pick and roll actions. All those things. The difference
is that the Mavericks don't present those same problems.
Yes, I'm saying no, they do not. They don't have Joker. I'm saying they don't have Joker.
That's the point.
But they have Luka.
They have Luka and Kyrie. Luka and Kyrie like Luka is miles ahead of all the rest of these guys.
Luka Doncic is miles ahead of this version of LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They present different but equal. Yeah. It's different but equal problems.
Okay, now I'm sorry, Ox, to your point. Different problems. Like you just said, I think MPJ was a huge problem that the Lakers couldn't solve last season. I think Aaron Gordon was manageable. He wasn't like what MPJ was, but I think he was manageable. I think MPJ was the difference in that series. Yeah. This Dallas team
23 on 70 true shooting in that series.
This Dallas team, okay, and you know what you asked Aaron Gordon to do? You asked Aaron Gordon to shoot the long ball, and he did. I think he shot something.
He shot 50% versus the Wolves last year.
No. He shot 50% on the long ball line. What I'm saying is
PJ Washington.
With this Dallas team, they're not gonna leave PJ Washington open because we already. Why are the Lakers leaving PJ Washington open? Swiper, go ahead.
But I'm saying they don't. Why are they chill?
No.
Think about it. I'm answering it. Chill.
Why are they leaving?
I'm not even trying to get in the yelling match. I'm just saying schematically.
I do want to get into this because
if Luka,
I 100% want to get into this one. If you gonna play around with it, then sit out, brother.
I'm not playing around. I just am not trying to argue, but I'm trying to provide a point. And I would love for Chill to respond. Like I'm saying, if Luka's at the top of this offensive tree we're building, and then he's running a pick and roll with Derek Lively, well, then AD is more than likely he's not going to play catch or hedge. He's going to be in a somewhat of a drop. And so if Luka, as he does better than almost anybody else, I'm saying I'm just drawing up a scenario. I'm not saying fourth quarter they change their coverage up, whatever. They're going to trap Luka at times, but sometimes they're not going to trap Luka because they're going to say we're getting beat in the corners too much. We're slow on rotations. LeBron is a fossil. We're not going to do that to him quarters 1 through 3. So then what they're going to do is
DFS is guarding
Luka, yeah, sure. Yeah, right. So Luka is gonna then move. He's gonna move to the top left corner. Ox, you've seen this multiple times. Move to that top left corner. He's gonna pull everybody out of the paint in a way, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be either a dump off to Lively, or if they step up to Lively, Luka's gonna use his sonar vision over there. Is that PJ Washington standing in the corner all by himself, left-handed? No look over the back of his head pass to PJ Washington, and then Austin Reeves or whoever is going to jump at the three-point shooter. He's going to be like, oh, snap, let me get up here. And then PJ, because Anthony Davis is slow on secondary rotations, he's going to drive by him, and it's going to be either a dunk or another pass out. And look at that. It's Kyrie Irving standing by himself as a three-point spot-up shooter wide open.
That's where I'm at with it because I think we're overlooking the fact that they got Kyrie Irving too. But I also want to say Vando is back. They got DFS. I think the Lakers defense improved dramatically in the past 3 weeks because of those two names right there. I think we could give them credit for going to make.
I hope
the move
Vando plays a lot in that series. By the way, I hope
Vando's. I mean, yeah, I think the Lakers want Vando to play a lot too.
I hope so. Math too. Luka's on.
He's been gone for a long time, but I mean, I don't think you just forget how to play defense. I think he'll get into it and they'll be okay. With that being said, I still stand on the fact that I believe the Mavericks don't have much trouble with the Lakers. My thing about the whole Anthony Davis thing, Chill, is I understand that Anthony Davis is better than Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. I do understand that, but I also understand that I don't have to be as good as you to match. To not match your production, but to make it competitive enough to where y'all not just smoking us based on this one matchup. I think that there's more matchup problems on the perimeter with the Mavericks than there are on the interior with the Lakers. I think Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively could hold their own enough to keep that competitive. Whereas I don't see them dudes, and I know I just shouted out Vando in DFS, but they don't got nothing for Luka and Kyrie, Chill.
All right, y'all.
Now, and I know you're not saying that they're going to win. I'm just saying I don't even think they're even looking at the Lakers as an issue.
I'm about to step in. I got a super chat, and then we're going to get back to the Dallas Mavericks. Mars, I have yet to hear from you. King, I got one more question for you.
He's too busy talking to the people in the chat. He ain't bothering with us. You know who Mars is. He's too busy.
I'm listening. No, I'm listening.
And then I got a question for you as well. But before we do that, my man Realist 123 sent through 25 pounds.
Yep.
Shout out to Realist 123. He said, "Thank you, Sabonis and Josh Hart. 50 pounds on same game triple doubles. Crazy returns. I'm taking a month off work. Hey, Realist, let me know where you're gonna be at. Send me half the money. I'll meet you there. We'll take a month off work." But anyways, he said, "Let's talk about Houston, the second best team in the West, in my opinion. Don't be surprised if they make it to the finals."
Yeah, so now,
they are the second best team right now.
Wow. So now, Mars, I gotta ask you, full health. Houston, a good old Texas matchup. Houston,
we lose.
Why are you asking this Houston hater?
We lose. I think Houston are a really good team. We play Boston tonight. We'll see how that goes.
You beat the Cavs twice.
Beat them twice.
I know. I said we're a really good team. I just said we're a really good team. Like, what the hell? We play Boston tonight. We'll see how that goes. They blew us out last time, so we want to get some revenge. I know Ime, this is going to be his first time back in Boston with a serious team. Last year, we wasn't ready for that type of matchup. But now this year, things might be a little bit different. So
everybody healthy?
Jabari's not going to be there, but everyone
Ours is like that parent who's afraid to say that their kid is actually good.
No, the team is really good. I think the team is really good. I think defensively they're a really good team. I think they're a better team with Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
I think offensively things are starting to click. Fred VanVleet is taking a back seat, which comes with the territory when Jalen Green starts playing like a good NBA player. Alperen Şengün is still looking really good. Amen Thompson is the second coming of Jesus Christ, like I told you. The team is really good. I still don't think they beat anyone in the playoff series. Anyone who they realistically could play. Anyone who they could realistically play.
So all right, because King, I was gonna do this with the Mavs next. So I'm gonna do this with you. But Mars, we gotta do this with Houston. I think we've done this before, but new update because they look a little better than what a lot of people thought they did. I don't know if that changes.
Well, maybe not anyone is hyperbolic, but there's like two teams I think that we could beat.
So let's just go down. And obviously they wouldn't face OKC in the first round, but I'm gonna start with OKC.
No.
Okay. Memphis.
I think that's one of the teams we could beat, but we wouldn't see them.
There's a chance.
It's a very unlikely, but sure.
Okay.
But that's one of the teams I think we could beat.
Nuggets.
Denver, no. Lakers, no. Clippers, no. Timberwolves, no.
Clippers,
Phoenix, no.
no.
Dallas, no. So there you go. No.
I do want to give you guys your flowers, though. The Houston Rockets. You guys are a lot better than I even gave you guys credit for. Or
we're really, really good team.
Especially from last year, just the improvement between players, between schemes, between obviously the defense. Even the offense looks better. Like we shit on Houston's offense a lot, but even the offense looks better. So I do want to give you guys your flowers on that. But
I agree.
Is there any pushback?
Well, but hold on. Cause Chill in the chat talking about they beating the Clips. Do y'all not see Kawhi Leonard?
Chill, get out the chat.
I'm not in the chat. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Ron, I said Chill in the chat. Not they're not together talking about it, but Chill made sure to say, I think y'all beat the Clips. The chat made sure to talk about that. Beat the Clips. Chill. I'm getting sick and tired of this. Okay.
Yeah, Kawhi's
do you see what Kawhi Leonard is looking like right now? Yeah. He is back. Chill. He's back.
The 14 a game, 47% from the floor. Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's coming back slowly but surely. And this is the dude that I'm so sick of.
Yes, this is the dude. Yes.
Kawhi's the part of the equation, which is why
I'm trying to figure out what y'all don't see.
I don't see the situation. We don't have.
No, he's not.
No Kawhi. I think Houston can beat the Clippers with Kawhi.
He's not.
No, man. He's playing 22. He's playing 23 minutes a game. That's barely half a game.
You gotta have vision. Chill, you gotta have vision.
I do have vision, and you know what I'm.
This is what's happening.
What do you want?
Right
23
now?
elite minutes
when Derek
or
Lively
35
played 24
bullshit
minutes.
minutes?
A huge part.
The reason why I'm paying is because I keep listening to you dudes talk to me about Kawhi Leonard being the difference. Here's the difference in what they're doing. So if he's the difference in what they're doing, so if he's the difference in what they're doing, right? If he's the difference in what they're doing, that means he's gonna have to play more. And if he's going to have to play more, Ox, you never heard me question your man's game. Have you? Have you ever heard me question your man's game? At any point. Never heard me question your man's game. You know what I have questioned? His availability. Now, because when we get later on in the season, he's going to have to play more. With him having to play more, is he going to hold up? That's the $1 million question.
No.
Is he going to hold up? And what I've seen over the last 5 years, I'm betting on he is not.
You don't remember Mars's theory about Kawhi Leonard?
Yes,
I thought it was very deeply coherent.
He doesn't subscribe to the theory. But when we talk about these playoff matchups, we're obviously assuming health of these teams. We're not just going into it like, well, this guy gets hurt, yeah, the Rockets can win. I'm obviously saying if both teams are fully healthy. Yeah, but I'm not doing that. If both teams are fully healthy, I think the Clippers are going to beat the Rockets. If
Leonard
Kawhi
is going to be as healthy as he possibly is. I'm going into the series.
Kawhi Leonard, I think the Clippers win. If Kawhi Leonard is not available, I think the Rockets can win because I think we've actually handled
chill.
A top 5 player in the NBA.
I watched Kawhi. Chill.
No, he
chill.
isn't.
I'm not agreeing with
good anymore.
I'm not agreeing with
He's not that good anymore.
No, he's not that good anymore.
I watched Kawhi dissect the Bucks
last year. Wait,
no. Forget about last year. Let's talk about right now.
Let's talk about today.
You talking about last year? Right now, I just watched him dissect the Bucks. I just watched him kill the Bucks from mid range, getting to the hoop, knocking down open threes.
Question his game.
I don't question his game. I don't question
how good his game is.
Chill. Kawhi back.
No,
22 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Kawhi back.
Okay, you know what?
He back.
I'm not gonna argue this point with you guys. I'm not gonna argue this point with you guys. You dudes, okay, bet. Kawhi Leonard is back. Kawhi Leonard, I think he's gonna take this crew from what y'all telling me. He taking this crew to the NBA championship. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Why do you do that?
Y'all got it. Nope, y'all got it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Why do you hear someone praise someone and you just jump?
No. This is not about praising somebody. This is not about that at all, Mars.
Championship other than
maybe about that at all.
Hang on.
Championship.
Same thing about his dude over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years. Stop telling me this. So you know what? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm conforming to the group. Kawhi Leonard is back. The Clippers are in contention to win the NBA championship. I'm on board. Let's do it.
Okay. I need that.
Who specifically said that?
You're saying you're on board.
Chill. Who specifically said that? Oh, Ox.
I don't.
Ox is a Kawhi fan.
Why are we piling up on Chill when he's
Ox also had He also said that
it's not about being a fan, Swiper.
But I'm saying he's saying to you. I don't know who else said that though. He said we all said that. I'm just.
Yeah, he was acting like it was just all that was being argued.
I think that I'm with you. I think they're an elite team of Kawhi's healthy.
We just got that wasn't argued. That's not true.
Don't let Chill.
That's exactly because it came from.
No, don't let Chill. No, that's not what was argued.
The Clippers would lose. And I did.
Don't let Chill bully
I
you,
think that's why we would lose.
Chill. He's soft at heart. He's soft at heart. He would never do that.
Like I just said, you guys are on. I just bought my ticket. I got it. I'm on the Kawhi Leonard train. I'm in. Okay.
No, don't let them bully you off a point.
I'm not getting bullied off.
No. You were right.
No. Here it is, Pen. I'm not getting bullied off of this. They've been saying this to me for years now that we've been together. They've been saying this Kawhi Leonard stuff to me for years now.
They did a lot of bullshit. They did wrong a lot.
When he's healthy, he's still a top 5 player, which I do believe that. When he's healthy, he's still a top 5 player.
He's not.
If Kawhi Leonard, when he's
He's
healthy,
better than Scotty Barnes.
He's 33 years old. And no, he's not.
When he's healthy, he's still a top 5 player. Mars is theory.
Wait, chill. Who are the top 5 players this year from 3 to 5 this year, so I can get a barometer? Cause I know you, SGA and Luka, SGA and Jokic, and then who's 3, 4, and 5. So I want to see where Kawhi will be placed in my brain. Who's 3, 4, and 5? Chill.
Giannis, Tatum,
Tatum, SGA, Luka.
Say that one more time, Chill.
Luka's not playing this year.
Joker, Giannis, SGA, Tatum, Luka.
Chill. I'm glad you mentioned that. Right, quick, Swiper. I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm in.
Because we have the best place where you can take Luka, Giannis, SGA, Tatum, Jokic, and whoever else you may want to, right here on PrizePicks. Yes, this is the app where you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately you can win your game with PrizePicks. Yes, here if you play $5, you will instantly get 50 back in promo funds, but only when you use promo code PANEL. Yes, only when you use promo code PANEL. Now, let me give you some insight as to how this works. You simply download the PrizePicks app. You use promo code PANEL. You find your favorite players in your favorite sport, and you choose more or less. And after that, well, you wait for the results to come, and you can cash out instantly. It'll hit your bank account like that. Now, let me talk to you about some good things that we got going on this week here at PrizePicks, because obviously, we got the Super Bowl coming up, and that means PrizePicks is doing us some favors. Now, as you know, Patrick Mahomes has advanced to the Super Bowl, and this is who many people say is the GOAT quarterback. Well, for the Super Bowl, PrizePicks has thrown us a nice little screen pass for an easy touchdown, with Patrick Mahomes only having to pass for a yard. Yes, literally, Patrick Mahomes, a yard. That's all he has to do in the Super Bowl, and you will win as long as you choose one or more contests to go along with it. So what are you waiting for? Download the PrizePicks app, use promo code PANEL, and make sure you select the big game free pick with Patrick Mahomes projected discount. And once again, this is a free pick, 99% off. Patrick Mahomes passing for a yard. We'll see you guys there. Actually, we'll see you guys right now because it's time for us to get into it, fellas. So let's go ahead and make this happen. Mars, you want to?
You know what's going on. Jalen Green last.
Who are they playing? Who y'all playing? Mars? Boston. Okay. I'm with you on this one this time.
I mean, last time he went more, he had 27. Lost by like 20, but he got his points at least.
Chill, you know you want to go, Chill?
Not yet, but I will tell you right now, Ox.
Okay. You want me to make mine real quick?
Yes, you do yours and come back to me.
Yeah, we play Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, so that's free.
Now we'll keep it cool. There we go. You know what? He about to destroy them. Get that demon PRA.
Ox, I like that LaMelo Ball. I think he is going. Man, Thompson 6.5 points.
That's
a goblin.
Yeah, all right. I like that LaMelo Ball. 27.5. Give me the more on that.
That's against the Lakers, right?
Oh yeah. He's cooking.
Are they playing in LA?
He's at home either way it go.
So no. If it's in LA, he's going for 38.
Chill, you major.
It's in Charlotte.
Ox, can I take a look at that Miami-Orlando game? I want to see what the line is on Paulo. Because he gets busy against Miami. Yeah, he gets busy against Miami.
Look at Franz. Oh, my bad. You said Paulo. My bad.
Whoa. I came in the store to look at a pair of 6s, and turns out they got some 4s in here too. Can I take a look at those? Hold on, Ox. Hang on.
No doubt.
The Franz turnovers.
24.5. 24.5 on points and rebounds. I might take that. Let me see. Let me see what that line on.
Give me.
Yeah, let me see what that line on Paulo look like.
What we got for Paulo Creed?
Here we go.
7 rebounds. That's it.
7 fours.
34. I'm taking the more on that. 34 point. The PRA 34 and a half. I'll take more on that. I think he's better than 34. Yep. I'm taking more on that.
All right. This is what we got, y'all. Ox, go ahead and put it in for 10.
Hold on, bro. I'm just gonna keep it with the regular PRA.
Just when you thought you were gonna stand in your little oxen nuts, you punked out. But it's all good. We got Jalen Green points, 21.5 less. LaMelo Ball, 27.5 points more. Apollo Creed, 34.5 PRA more. Indominant Sabonis, 22.5 PRA more. This is how we rocking today.
You know your man Lester played tonight, Ron.
I'm letting Lester breathe right now.
Okay, this is making sure because your man Lester played tonight.
Go ahead and
the
say
Nuggets
that.
with an embarrassment on the weekend, by the way.
What embarrassment? What they do? What happened?
Against
They got smoked.
Yeah,
They got smoked.
Shout out to them.
Yo, Swiper, you want to talk about it? No? All right, cool. Well, let's get back to it, though, because Ox, I just did it with Mars. Ox, I want to do this with the Clippers, with you too, but King, before we do that, Dallas Mavericks. I want to know how you feel about the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference. What team are they scared of? So I'm gonna run down or what team do you think they should be scared of, or what team do you think they can't beat? I'm gonna run down the gauntlet. You muted, King.
Am I good now?
You muted.
Am I good? I'm good
Oh,
now.
you're good now. You're good now.
Yeah.
I said King, not Pin.
Am I good?
No,
Yeah,
Penn is
you
also
are.
good. Both of you guys are
All
good.
right.
Both of you guys are good.
All right, but here we go. Let's run down. All right, the Dallas Mavericks, and this is at full health. Luka back, Derek Lively back, playoff time. They're playing their best. OKC.
They should be scared.
Okay. Houston Rockets.
They should not be scared at all.
Memphis Grizzlies.
You ain't have to
Nope.
say it at all like that. You ain't have
They shouldn't be scared at all. The Grizzlies at all either.
to do that.
Denver Nuggets.
They shouldn't be scared of Denver at all either.
Los Angeles Lakers.
No, not at all.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Not at all. Don't have enough offensively.
Phoenix Suns.
Nobody in the league should be scared of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
Even the Hornets. No.
Sacramento Kings.
No.
Golden State Warriors.
Nah.
All right.
Maybe. Nah, not really.
A little extra credit. Let's say they get back to the finals. I got 3 Eastern Conference teams.
Oh, okay.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they should be scared of the Cavs. Not too scared, but a little fear though.
Why should they be afraid of the Cavs when they shouldn't
Because
be afraid?
the Cavs shoot. They got so much shooting. They got 2 bigs.
Their
that can
defense
match up
is
with their
garbage.
bigs. I know, but they got shooting though. They got
Just wait till they
bigs
get
that
their
can match
wings
up
back.
with
They
both of
didn't
their
even know
bigs.
Isaac Okoro and no Karis
Exactly.
Once they get some actual wings, though.
Exactly. They got a whole entire full roster. Ty Jerome
Sign
too.
the actual context of the situation.
But they shouldn't be afraid of Houston, who handled Cleveland both times they played them.
That's
No,
2
they
different
shouldn't be.
teams. That's 2
Okay,
different
first
teams.
of all, we did not handle them the first time.
Regular season wins.
The second
Yeah,
time,
that's
okay.
2 different teams though.
First
too.
time we did not handle them. We won, but we did not handle them.
Garland choked that game away. Respectfully, though, again, Ox and Ron can appreciate this. Essential as all you have played basketball at high level. I thought what Darius Garland had to do is one of the most difficult things, by the way, in sports.
You want to make 3 free throws?
With no body on the
yeah.
line, that's horrible. That's a horrible feeling. A horrible feeling. So go ahead. I think people are
A 90% free throw shooter going to the stripe and knocking down free throws in the middle.
with nobody at the line.
Well, I mean, he was
Made
missing them throughout the game. He was like,
Yeah, he
was.
went 2 for 6, like something like that.
He was
Like
missing them just the whole game. So.
Right.
I just feel like the Cavs roster, though, is pretty complete. If we're talking both teams healthy, I'm not saying it's a for sure they're going to lose to the Cavs, but they should be worried a little bit.
All right. The other Eastern Conference team I got for you is the New York Knicks.
I thought you were gonna say the Magic.
I thought he was going to say the Magic, too. The Knicks, they should be worried about the Knicks. Not that worried, though, because their defense isn't that good. Cat can light the scoreboard up. Brunson can light the scoreboard up. I just think they played too many minutes, bro. I think Thibs is going to run them
getting
into
his
the
get back,
ground. I mean, that would be nice. That would be a good storyline, wouldn't it? But no, nah.
All right. And last but not least, y'all already know a finals rematch against the Celtics.
I mean, I think they would be chomping at the bits to get back at Boston, but it's Boston. You know what I'm saying? Boston, They clamped like it was just Boston was beating the hell out of them some of them games. But I mean, it's a different series. We're talking both teams healthy. It will be a good one. I think that's who they will want to play. So I don't think they should have fear. No.
Okay. Hey, Mars, who'd you say you guys play tonight?
We play Boston tonight, yeah.
So I know a good place where we can all watch teams play. And it's right over here at GameTime. I'm sure you're wondering, what is GameTime? Well, let's talk about the NFL playoff games for a second, actually. You know, that heart-pounding, can't feel your face kind of energy when your team's on the field? Swiper can relate. It's like you're a part of a big, chaotic, beautiful family of screaming strangers. Trust me, that's the kind of magic you don't want to miss out on. But hold up, though. Let's talk about buying tickets, game tickets. Now, that's where the whole circus and part of the game can get kind of confusing unless you've got GameTime. This app is like the MVP of ticketing apps because, well, there's no competition, period. It's like SGA versus the rest of the field. So let me break it down for you. GameTime makes buying tickets so easy that, well, your granny can even do it. All you got to do is take 2 taps on your phone and then, boom, you are in. You want to see your view of the seats before you buy them? They've got it. Don't want to deal with sneaky fees and overcharging? Well, they have all-in pricing, which means there's no surprising. Oh, yes, and at the last minute, you don't have a ticket? Well, GameTime makes it so you don't have to sweat it. They've got tickets up until the kickoff, and, well, you can even get tickets after the game starts, up until halftime. Who else is doing that? But wait, there's more. The GameTime app guarantees that you're covered like a lockdown defender. If you found cheaper seats in the same section or row, they'll credit you up to 110% of the difference. Did you lose your job? Well, they'll refund you your money. Who else is doing that? Is the event canceled? No worries. They'll refund you your money. They even have a 24-hour return policy, no questions asked. Who does that? Once again, GameTime does that because they care about you, the true fans. So what the heck are you waiting for? Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code CLNS. Let me spell that out for you, for the people that can't read like me. CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, obviously, but come on. $20 off? That's a first down guaranteed. Download the GameTime app. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Now go and make some memories, and we'll see you at the game. All right, we just did the Dallas Mavericks. Big Ox, as promised, we have the Los Angeles Clippers. It's time to get into it. I want you to tell me who they should be afraid of.
Why am I doing the Clippers?
Because you just gassed them up, and Kawhi's your man.
All right, cool.
And your other team's probably not going to be there. I mean, if you don't,
if I was with you right now, but go ahead. I'm with it.
All right, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. The Golden State Warriors.
No. Why you keep saying the Warriors?
You might as well start with the Blazers.
Start with the Spurs next time. I don't think the Clippers should worry about the Clippers at full. Everybody full health, right? Yeah, I don't think they should worry about the Warriors now.
All right, the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, the Clippers should definitely worry about the Dallas Mavericks. That's like their kryptonite.
The Phoenix Suns.
To my man point up here. Nobody. Not even the Blazers.
All right. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wait, but hold on. Let me be for real. If the Suns are in the playoffs and you match up with the Suns, I don't think the Suns will beat the Clippers. But you got a lot of firepower over there. So I mean, not worried about them, but it could go another way.
If they get Jimmy,
I just want to clarify. Yes, if they get Jimmy, I do think things change over there. And that's no knock to Brad. Y'all know I got big love for B-Rad, but if they get Jimmy over there, I think that changes things for sure.
All right. Minnesota Timberwolves.
Hold on, Ron. Rewind real quick, Ron. If the playoffs started today, they got buckets on that roster. They see Oklahoma City in round 1. How you like them?
Who, me? Like the Suns?
Playoffs start today. They moved, and they got buckets. And the playoffs start today, and they got to see
OKC in 6.
Yeah, OKC was a bit too far. It ain't been OKC.
OKC in 6. I think OKC. Yeah, I got OKC for sure.
Okay. As you were saying, Ron.
Timberwolves?
No, I don't think they worry about the Timberwolves now.
Clippers aren't sweating the Wolves?
I don't think so.
All right. Right down the street. They're back home in the crypto arena. Should I be worried about the Lakers?
No. They own the Lakers.
Okay. How I get this far up and I tripping. How could I forget the Sacramento Kings?
No, they shouldn't worry about the Kings.
Okay. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, everybody should be concerned with the Nuggets.
So, in that series, who you got?
It's 7. I think it goes to 7. I can't call it, Ron. I think everybody should be worried about the Nuggets, though.
All right. Memphis Grizzlies.
Nah, I think they handle the Grizzlies.
Houston Rockets.
I don't think Houston ready yet.
All right, and last but obviously not least, Oklahoma City.
Once again, everybody should be concerned with OKC, but
who you got?
I mean, hey,
Kawhi playing 30 minutes a night now.
Look, Clippers best player better than their best player, so.
Oh, so Clippers are winning the championship. Okay.
I don't know about all that, Morris, but if
why not, Ox? Let's go there. Okay, Ox, you got James Harden.
Well, I'm talking to who I love.
Yeah,
you love James Harden. In fact, you love James Harden way more than you love Russell Westbrook. We had this conversation a bunch of different times.
That's cool.
We're going off the fact we're going off health being taken off the table. So Leonard is going to be ready. So if Leonard is healthy, that's a top 5 player in the game. You also got Norman Powell, who's their leading scorer.
Well, chill. I've said I got the Clippers going to the championship. It's not like I'm above saying that. I'm good with that.
So you got them representing the Western Conference.
It depends on the path they take. Yeah.
And with Leonard healthy, I mean, I saw them going to Boston last season and smoke Boston. And Boston just beat them in a dogfight in overtime. No Leonard, no Harden, no Zubac.
So of the teams I spoke on, chill, who's the team that you're having an issue with? Is it the Lakers or is it OKC?
I'm not having an issue with any team. What I'm asking is are the Clippers the NBA champions in the 24-25 season?
If they go to the championship, I think they can get with any team in the East. I think they beat the Cavaliers. Absolutely beat the Cavaliers. I think it'll be a little rougher with the Knicks. And if the Celtics want to try to shoot it out, they better be hot. Because hey, Jaylen Brown nor Jason Tatum wanted with Kawhi Leonard. So
interesting.
Okay. Swiper, are you back in this? Because I know you are probably the second highest person on the Clippers up here.
I mean, that Clippers defense ain't no joke either.
It's the best defense. James Harden says the best defense he's ever been on. He said that. It's the best defensive team he's at. Even though he was on the team.
How high a bar is that?
No, thanks to him.
Wait a minute. He was on that Oklahoma City team that was really good defensively. He was on that team. Woody Baca and him.
Steven
Baca. Yeah, he was on that team. So with that being said, we're going off of Leonard being healthy. I'm on board. That's all I gotta say, Alex. I'm on board. All right, bet. Let's go.
Well, they have a better defense than Boston does, so that's going to be their calling card. They have a better interior defense than Boston does. Depends on how you feel about Derek White and Drew this year. I think Chris Dunn's a better defender this year than both of them. Kawhi Leonard is probably not. I guess this is where I actually want to hear. Do you not think Chris Dunn's having a better defensive season than both of those two?
Then
Drew and Derek.
better defensive season. I don't know if he's having a better defensive season, but I think he's having a great defensive season. Derek White's been good this year.
I'd argue that Chris Dunn might have been the best perimeter defender in the NBA this year, but it just depends. I think Zubac helps that a lot. I think Zubac helps that a lot.
Now, when you
I think Zoo helps that a lot.
The best?
100%, because he rebounds and they get a lot of stops because he rebounds.
I'm a huge Chris Dunn.
Why aren't y'all jumping out your seats? He just
wait a minute. Wait.
That's not a bold statement.
I'm also
I think if you're using the same,
because Mars, you do the same thing.
Chris Dunn might be the 7th best perimeter defender. It's like the point he's making is he's elite. Like, I don't really.
Not everything needs an argument, but we say that about Magic Johnson, and your hoodie flies off.
No, wait a minute.
The conversation about the Magic Johnson thing, got turned into a conversation. It was meant to be a passing comment. It wasn't meant to be something that turned into an argument. When I said Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Steph Curry aren't in GOAT conversations, that wasn't meant to then turn into a separate debate. It was meant to be me using that point to carry on with the actual discussion we was having. You guys turned that into an argument. I didn't. So, same thing with Chris Dunn. I'm not turning this into a debate about is Chris Dunn a better defender than Alex Caruso or Amen Thompson or Dyson Daniels or whoever. The point I was making is Chris Dunn is a defender, and I agree with that point. So, like, I don't care if he's the best. I wouldn't have him as the best. I know I wouldn't, but I also know he's one of the elite perimeter defenders in the game, and that's ultimately the point Swap is making. Whether he's the best or not.
So I think that coupled with the fact that I think Derrick Jones Jr. is another really good ad for them for cheap. I think $10 million a year is more than respectable for him. James Harden plus Kawhi. I do think that would be something that will be difficult for them to deal with. Now, obviously, James Harden, like if his offensive punch is there, because again, I've continued to say this. If Paul George came to the party last year, I think they could have beat the Thunder, at least make it even closer. Paul George was nowhere to be seen in that entire series. And then James Harden making his floor.
Didn't he get? Wait a minute. Didn't he get busy? Oh, in Oklahoma City. I'm sorry.
Yo, chill. That's your lawnmower?
You got people working on his house.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Sound like they got a monster truck.
W workers. Yeah, W field workers. I think that it would be interesting. I don't know if Clippers make it out of anything. I do think that I was the second highest. I'm the realist high on the Clippers. Ox is fan high on the Clippers. Obviously, those two different categories, but I think that like in terms of where they are, I think Ox thinks they can be top of the line. I think whatever the below that top of the line is, I think the Clippers can fit right there with Kawhi. I really like their team. I really like their team a lot.
They've been the number one defense in the NBA for the last 11 games. Not by a little bit, by a lot of bit. Like, they have been by far the best defense. The thing that I have an issue with right now is, and I'm very high on them. I think defense wins in the playoffs. I think they're a very good defensive team. I think experience and star players win in the playoffs. They got two of the most experienced star players in the league. My question is, Kawhi Leonard's 33 years old. Kawhi Leonard has had injury history and availability issues. Kawhi Leonard hasn't really finished a playoff series for the Clippers in years. Like, we're going back to 5 years. One time in 5 years. So availability is a concern. Like, at this point, if they're without him, I don't think they're making it to the finals or even the Western Conference Finals. If they're with him, I have a question about how much he's regressed. And again, I'm not saying that this will carry forward.
Yo, who got that Rottweiler going in the back?
There's people coming to the house to fix something. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm gonna just mute. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you could have faith in Kawhi, and you could maybe bargain with yourself and say, well, he hasn't played a lot of minutes, over his career, so maybe his 33 is not like most 33s. But players do tend to regress around this time. And his numbers this year are not good. I mean, granted, he's only really playing 20 minutes a game, right?
It's Kawhi, though, Penn. It's Kawhi. Let's make sure that we remember that point. It's Kawhi.
I find it so interesting that you're saying that, because remember we had that whole discussion about stars looking like stars, and they still look like stars, but they're not stars anymore.
Yep.
So my question is like, okay, Kawhi's game is not necessarily predicated on burst. It's a lot of strength, a lot of craft. Okay, cool. So I'm sure at some point he'll rise to all-star level type of player, right?
Sure.
But when you say top 5 player, you use me on that one, man. Because right now, just a quick summary. He's not going to shoot 31% as a 3-point shooter for the season. That's not happening. So some of it is just small sample size, 7 games, rusty, etc. But his 54.7% true shooting so far through 7 games, 157 minutes. Again, small sample size. But if you're going to tell me that this is too small sample size to declare that he's regressed, then I need you to keep that same energy before you anoint him a top 5 player again, right? 54.7 would be the worst mark of his career by far. And any mark of his career.
Because he shoots
Rookie
31% from 3.
That is definitely part of it, but it's not just that.
No,
If like, here's the thing, advanced analytics, they take a big thing. People hate them, people love them. But I do want to say this: the best way to look at a player is to look at their advanced analytics. It's difficult, like, against themselves. It's not like, okay, I'm going to compare Derek Lively versus Kawhi Leonard, and I'm going to make an assumption based on their EPM. I'm saying a player year over year, provided their role is similar, right? Isolation scorer, go-to wing scorer. When you look at the regression year to year, that's where you can really see where the numbers are falling off. That's where you look at a Steph Curry and you say he's regressed, and I'll agree with you now. That's where we look at a Kevin Durant and we say, okay, well,
not regressed, not regressed, Penn. He said washed, but keep going.
I don't know if Steph's washed, but he's regressing. Okay, so there's a lot of regression in certain percentiles, and, like, you could say 2-point percentage at the rim. What's that looking like? With Kawhi Leonard, he has been an analytics darling his whole career. He has posted some of the highest EPM, box plus minus, stats throughout the playoffs. He has been a career 6.6 box plus minus throughout his career, which peaked in 2017, 2018 with a 10.1 for the San Antonio Spurs. He is currently at 0.1.
A guy that just started playing this season.
No. I hear you. Look, I have faith that he'll rise very slowly up to 2.5 to 3.5. But when you consider the injury stuff, when you also consider the regression defensively, because he is nowhere near the defender he was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 years ago, especially 7 years ago.
Still an amazing defender.
He's a good defender. When you say amazing defender, you're talking about Ben Thompson. I don't think he's an amazing defender.
Here's the thing, though. Amazing, good, great, elite. The defense is already the defense without Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't have to be the Kawhi of the past.
The reason why is somebody can get on your crew and make your defense not as good. And that's not to say that Kawhi Leonard, is going to make them go the other way.
Why would you even insinuate that, Chill?
I'm not, because he's not the defender that he used to be.
But why would you insinuate that Kawhi Leonard can make the defense worse?
The reason why is because he's not the defender that he used to be.
Yes, but the defender that he used to be is better than every defender in the NBA today. So it's not like he's of course he's not at that level, but like how we talked about with Steph Curry and LeBron James, their regression is regression, but still elite basketball player. Kawhi Leonard's regression on defense.
He's still an elite defender. He's still an elite defender.
He's good.
He's still an amazing defender. I didn't say he was an elite.
He's
defender.
very good.
He's still an amazing defender. He's great on the defensive end. Yes.
My question with all of this, because I got my ticket. I'm on the train. All right. My question is where are we going when we get closer to Mars's point and Mars's theory, when we get to the playoffs and when we get in the playoffs? This 22, 23 minutes, that's not going to be enough. If you're trying to win, Ox, like you stated, Ox, like you say that, Ox, like you tell me, Ox, where they're going to be, this 22, this 23 minutes, that's not going to be enough. He's going to have to play 30 plus minutes. That's the question that I'm asking.
We got 3.5 months for him to ramp up. Yeah.
He has played 4 playoff games since 2021. 4. 2 in 2023, 2024 last year, 2 in 2022, 2023.
Yeah, but talk about the whole season.
And he wasn't great in those games.
How many minutes did he play last year?
I mean, he was great. He was great.
But wait a second though. He played 68 games last year, and you say he only played four playoff games. How many games?
2 playoff games last year.
Right. Okay, but Penn, what is the difference between? Let's lay out the seasons. What's the difference between last season in this season as far as games played and minutes played for Kawhi Leonard? Don't you see a significant difference?
Yeah, he didn't miss half the season last year. He did.
No, but
Okay,
if
so
you're going to
with
Mars's theory that they only believe that he can
I
play
don't
6
know.
months in a row.
I don't know exactly what Mars theory is. I'm just asking.
Well,
I'm just talking. Okay, go ahead.
I had a chance yesterday to go to a coach's clinic in which the guy who managed Kawhi's load, Alex McKechnie, former champion with the Los Angeles Lakers, he won 5 rings with the Lakers, then he won a ring with the Raptors. I had a chance to listen to him talking about load, and he's the guy who pretty much pioneered load management for Kawhi Leonard in the NBA. So yeah, I think Alex McKechnie he knows a few things. So I thought when Mars talked about maybe the Clippers internally believe that it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So this is basically Kawhi's preseason, right? The 23 minutes, they got this really good crew around him.
Yep.
They got good defense around him. And what they're trying to do is get him to peak April, May, right? That's where they want him to really ramp up. Whereas maybe last year, that's where he was in December. Now you're going to get that Kawhi in the playoffs. And look,
right, well, that's what I'm saying. Pin,
he's not afraid of anybody. So that's the thing. Like I think the only thing that we need to account for is like sometimes you start a car and you're like, it hasn't been started in a couple of years. And then you realize, oh shit, this other thing broke while I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was just the gas that was out for
He's not a car. He's not a car.
Yeah.
Oh
my
God.
You ramp up and it doesn't go. Because you're 33. You have to factor in.
I want to hear your thoughts on this whole Kawhi.
I understand exactly what Penn is saying.
I was going to say, I know exactly what he's saying.
I want to, right quick,
that's a reach, though.
Let's give my man King the floor.
I would say he's right. They want him to be peaking in April and May, and that's the goal. And they're playing really good right now. They're the number 1 defense the past 11 games. I feel like he can peak in April and May, but is he going to last? That's the only problem. Is he?
King, what has he shown you over the last 5 years?
Exactly.
What has he shown you over the last 5 years? And again, what I want to take off the table, King.
Okay, go ahead.
King, what I want to take off the table is I want to take any biases. I want to take any feelings off the table. Over the last 5 years, not 2 games, not a half a season. Over the last 5 years, what has a Kawhi Leonard shown you over the last 5 years? Come playoff time,
that he will flame out and his body's going to betray him.
So why am I ridiculous to think that trend is not going to continue? Why am I ridiculous?
He's not flamed out. He's not flamed out in the playoffs. He's gotten hurt in the playoffs.
That's what I mean. Okay, flame out. Okay, yeah, you're right.
He's being managed.
That's a different. Okay, yeah.
Which is the fair
He's got hurt in the playoffs.
So that's the reason why I would.
Let me switch that.
To believe it could go differently this time because they aren't going with the same formula again. What's the quote? Insanity is trying the same thing over and over again. They're expecting different results.
And expecting the same results.
They're not. They're trying something different. So that would be the inclination for why it could go differently. If it doesn't go differently, then it's like okay.
You know what's really wild?
He's not flame out. He'll probably get hurt.
He has about 2,000 minutes to give you every single year before you start running into trouble. I mean, if you look at these numbers, they are pretty astonishing. For Toronto, he played 2,040 minutes. The next year in the Clippers, 57 games, 1,848 minutes. Right, so 1,848 minutes. Next year, 1,773. Next year, 1,748. Next year, 2,330. That was the most healthy year. That was last year. Sure. This year, he's at 157. If you treat him like a car, and you treat we're filling him up. Okay, perfect. Fill up the tank. I'm not driving this like I'm treating him like a luxury car. That's how I'm treating him. I'm treating him like a luxury car. I'm not taking him out to do groceries. I got a Buick for that. I'm taking him out when I got a girl to impress. I'm taking him out when I get that fly chick. That's where I got to go. Sorry, Cho. I'm stepping on your toes here. Trying to take all these chick analogies.
So who's the fly chick?
Let me
the playoffs.
The
playoffs. The playoffs is the fly chick, Ron.
So you're not playing before that?
The Western Finals. That's the playoffs.
When Kawhi Leonard got hurt,
the regular season is the grocery store. The regular season is errands. That's the regular season. The playoffs is the 8 or the 9 chick that I'm taking her to the steakhouse, and I gotta clean up the whip and I gotta get fresh for her. That's the playoffs.
Taking an 8 or a 9 to a steakhouse for the first date is wild.
Number one. This isn't the first date. We've been doing this for 5 years now, so let's be clear about that. This is
Let me ask Phil, what were his injuries when he got hurt in the playoffs?
Same
Kawhi
thing.
Leonard.
The same thing. It's his knee.
The knee, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And wasn't when he played against the Jazz, didn't he land wrong?
He partially tore his ACL.
But by landing wrong.
Yes.
No, he wasn't landing right.
Didn't he land wrong?
He stopped. He was in transition.
He was
talking about the
was
dunk.
going.
He
He bumped Bojan. He bumped him and Bojan bumped his knee buckle. He wasn't jumping.
Yeah, stuff like that happens though.
Yeah, that's a part of basketball. That's how you tell your.
So what's you know what I'm saying? So what's to say it won't happen again? I mean, again,
what's to say it won't happen to anybody? This is basketball.
It's just basketball.
It hasn't happened as much as it happened to Leonard, though. That's
to him.
I'm saying I'm not gonna put that on nobody. But I'm just saying you can name any random player in the NBA. I won't name one, but you can feel free to name any random player in the NBA and say if they take a step, bang somebody, can their knee buckle? Sure. Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Mars's theory, which when I first heard it, I love everything about the theory. The thing that I'm concerned with, more than anything, is when we start getting later on in the season, and now we got to turn them up more, and we got to get it, and we get closer to the playoffs, and then once the playoffs start, and then we start winning, what's going to happen is, one, the games are going to get closer because when you start winning, the teams get bounced more, which means that we're going to need him more because the games are closer. Instead of playing once or twice a week, now we're playing every other day. And if we're playing every other day, now we got to turn Kawhi Leonard up, and we need him more than 20, 22 minutes, 25 minutes. We're going to need him for 30, 35 minutes some games. Is he going to be able to hold up? That was because Mars's theory on having him from January to June, I actually love that. I do. The thing I'm concerned with the most is when we get closer to the postseason, and then when we get in the postseason, this where we have him now, that's not going to be good enough. To Penn's point, Penn, we're going to have to open her up, like they said on the Titanic. Like we're going to stretch her legs out a little bit. We got to step on the gas. That's what we're going to have to do. And how is Kawhi Leonard going to be once we step on the gas? That's my question.
Swiper, do you have a question?
Do you all think that because of their roster construction this year, this will be the easiest load that Kawhi would have had to carry with the Clippers since the first year he's been there in 1920?
No.
He doesn't have to carry the bum podcast P.
Well, I was going to say to the basketball side of it is, you think having
that was a very good point.
How much do you all think having Chris Dunn, having Derrick Jones Jr. On the roster to be the primary wing defenders with James Harden, who's healthy, can carry the offensive load, I think, in many ways. Ivica Zubac having his best year of his career, I would argue.
Easily.
I think I even think
Norman,
off the bench, they have a big that works
Norman.
in some ways. Like obviously, whatever. Like I'm saying situationally, obviously, I don't want to praise him too much. I do want to say he's played good minutes at times. But I also think, to Ox's point, who I was going to get to last, I think Norman Powell taking an all-star ascension this year is really important for them. I think they have now a variance of scoring options. They have wing defenders that can do his job, and he won't have to scale up as much in certain points in time in the game and in certain games, period, because I think he can rely on his team to do the teammates to do some of those jobs. And I think, to Mars's point, deploying him in January sparingly, deploying him more in February, deploying him more in March, and then by the time you get to April, you're hoping we can basically get through a game now, and Kawhi can play anywhere from 24 to 32 minutes a game very comfortably. And then the good thing is, Penn, chill, is that now when he's playing versus the Mavs or he's playing versus the Nuggets or playing versus whoever, if we want to put him on Jamal Murray and Luka, we can. But we can put Derrick Jones Jr. and Chris Dunn on them, and then that way he can operate off ball, and then he can do what he needs to do, ISO, one-on-one, post scoring, and then he can kind of focus on the things he does really well that have, I think, lower.
So we're turning him into something different. I can get with that. I can get with that because Penn, essentially what I'm hearing is we still got a platinum singer. We ain't got to write all the songs for you no more. But you can still be that dude. Sometimes. That's what it sounds like.
Low-key, this team low-key reminds me of Van Gundy's Knicks teams a little bit in the 90s. No, there's no Ewing necessarily, but I mean they got that scrappy identity. They're super deep. They got a lot of wings. To people who aren't watching the Clippers, because to a lot of people they just star watch. Kawhi not playing, they're not watching, right? But James Harden's been awesome this year. Kobe Brown's been pretty good. Derrick Jones Jr., Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann. I don't know about all-star ascension, but all-star adjacent, sub all-star. Norman Powell. Kai Jones has been pretty decent off the bench. That was a flyer they took on, a reclamation project, and he's been pretty decent. And Ivica Zubac has been a revelation. I think he's one of the top 10 centers in the league this year. So it's like they've developed these players, and Chris Dunn, of course, and Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, shoot, I watched this team without Harden, without Kawhi.
He doesn't suck, Norm. He does not
He's
suck.
looked better recently.
Okay,
all of these guys. I mean, they sat their starters. They sat Zubac, they sat Kawhi, Norm, and Harden, and Nicholas Batum, and nearly beat the Celtics. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, this is like a team. You know what I mean? Like you root for teams like this because it's not like you just assembled a big three and then you just filled out the pieces randomly. No, man, like there's some real thought that went into the roster construction here. So salute to them for sure.
And all of this, to your point, Pin, Leonard is the post holding up the tent.
Well, obviously they're not going to win a championship without Kawhi. They probably won't win one with him, but they have a better chance. And I think like the concerns of health are obviously valid. I don't think me or Ox or anyone on the Kawhi side of this is saying that you have no basis in being concerned about Kawhi Leonard's health. I mean, the history speaks for itself. But I guess my question is, Kawhi joined the Clippers in 2019-20, right?
That's correct.
Do we not have the same concerns for Giannis in terms of playoff sustainability and staying healthy?
Oh, that's a good point.
Every year with the Bucks, I don't hear these same concerns.
Yeah.
And last year in the postseason, he didn't play. The year before that, he got hurt. He missed a bunch of games. In 20, so now that's 23. In 22, he was healthy.
Yep.
In 21, he got hurt. He came back.
You don't even have to go no further.
And in 2020,
but wait, Ron, because Ron, we agreed already. No, you can't go.
Before you say, well, they won. My point is that
I'm not even about to go there. The results are irrelevant.
I'm making sure my point is fully laid out.
Yeah, I want to make sure that
I'm not saying that Giannis can't stay healthy in the postseason.
Sure.
I'm saying that in the same time that Kawhi's been on the Clippers, Giannis has dealt with a postseason injury in every single postseason except one.
Yep.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, for all intents and purposes, has been a great player when he's been available, but his unavailability has costed his team playoff series that they otherwise should have won. For example, the 23 series against the Miami Heat. Is it not reasonable to then say, based on the same logic of Kawhi, that the Bucks shouldn't be deemed as title contenders or favorites in the same lens of the other teams in the Eastern Conference because their best player is a flight risk? Same thing with Chris Middleton, who's their third, fourth best player, who's also a major injury risk. But the Bucks get viewed, in my opinion, rightfully so, as contenders. But their best player and their second or third best player now, fourth best player maybe, also has major injury concerns. But they're viewed as contenders. Why is that?
Flight risk is crazy.
I'm gonna tell you why, Mars. I'm gonna tell you why. It's a big difference. And okay, you brought up Chris Middleton, and James Harden's also injuries concerned too. So both teams do face the same thing. But here's what I'm gonna say though. Kawhi and Giannis are two completely different cases. Kawhi has degenerative knees and has had it for the last 8 years, 6 years,
forever.
Forever.
Yeah,
and it's gotten worse.
Those are two different. Hey, one person's just going through a crisis. The other person is clinically insane. they're schizophrenic. Okay, it's completely different. They're in two different sides of the hospital, and also too, age as well. Giannis just turned 30. Kawhi's going on 34. It's a little different. You have a 4-year gap. You have a guy that has an injury history over his career, degenerative knees, ACL surgeries, MCL surgeries. Has Giannis had any surgery?
No,
not that I know.
Has Giannis had any chronic injuries?
I'm sure he's got chronic injuries. We just haven't heard.
You'd have to define chronic. I don't think.
Well, I mean, any major injuries.
It's not the same as Kawhi, where it's like Kawhi has a condition, whereas Giannis gets hurt. So I can understand that. Which I do actually think is a valid distinction to make, and I probably should have made it. But I guess my point is,
I think I know what
I would view the Bucks as contenders, and I think most people up here would view them as contenders. Maybe not tier 1 contenders with Boston and OKC and whoever, but definitely contenders. Every previous year they've been viewed as contenders.
Sure.
I mean,
and it keeps getting derailed by injuries, in particular to their best player.
Sure.
That's the same thing that's happening with the Clippers, regardless of if it's degenerative knees or not. But that keeps happening.
Right.
Why are we not banking on the side of history with the Bucks saying, well, Giannis is probably going to be hurt in the postseason again. Giannis probably going to get hurt in the postseason. Why are we not doing that with them? Is it just because he doesn't have a condition and we just ignore the history of it, or is it something else? Like,
No, hang on 1 second, because you say someone's 30 and someone's 33, but not all 30 and not all 33s are created equal. They're not equal though. But what I'm saying is,
Kawhi's 34 is 54.
Hang on, no, you're not retiring him just yet. Okay, what I want to say is that because Kawhi was with the Spurs and because he's missed some time, I don't know if you subscribe to the theory of progressive load over a person's career, where we've seen it with Luol Deng. He played a lot of crazy minutes for Tibbs. His career, I think, was cut a little bit shorter than it would have. Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose. We've seen high minutes lead to earlier regression for players, right? I want to mention Giannis Antetokounmpo has played 5,000 more minutes in his career than Kawhi Leonard, despite being 3 years younger.
Of course, because Kawhi's missed 4 seasons, multiple seasons. Which is what I just highlighted.
Which is Mars' point. And Mars, to your point.
But Kawhi's played almost 2 times as many minutes in the playoffs.
And Mars, to your point, when you're talking about derailing the season, I mean, I think, one, I don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks are, like you said, Boston or a contender like that. No, I don't think that they're that good. Because they have Giannis, they have a shot to win the NBA championship. But I think Giannis's injuries are more manageable than what's going on with Kawhi Leonard. That's why we don't look at Kawhi. That's why I don't look at Kawhi Leonard and Giannis's injuries the same, because the stuff that's happening with Giannis, these are things like in 2020, he rolled his ankle. And he ended up being out for the playoffs. All right, that's something that we can manage. In 21, he ended up hyperextending his knee, but he came back and he was okay. He was okay with that. In 22, he played. In 23, he had a back injury, but he came back and played throughout that back injury. And a lot of people don't talk about the fact. I mean, I was at that game. He went 38 and 10, and I think it was game 4 in Miami. He went almost 40 and 20. So the back injury didn't affect him nearly as much. It's the other things with Milwaukee that are the problem. In terms of it hasn't been Giannis's health more than it's been the other things. Now, last year, don't get me wrong, that injury with the calf, I don't like to mess around with calf injuries. You know how I feel about calf injuries. And that did derail them, because if he's healthy, I think they got a better shot. But this is also something that is manageable, as opposed to what's going on with Kawhi Leonard. This condition that he has, which has worsened, has completely derailed them. And that's what we bank on every year with him. With Giannis, it's something different. And because it's something different, it's something that's more manageable. It's not one thing that's the crisis, and it's consistently been that.
That makes sense. Okay.
He's a very physical player. He drives into the paint 1,000 times. He gets hit. His game is downhill. So in a lot of ways, I think by Giannis working on his mid-range shot and becoming much more mid-range dominant this year, he's actually technically handling that.
Right.
All right, y'all. It is Monday, so I want to congratulate everybody that's in here. You guys survived your weekend, for the better or for worse. Make sure you subscribe to Player's Choice. Make sure you follow us on all social medias. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you become a member. And shout out to Cobra Son of Raditz. Shout out to Multi Kenny. Shout out to Tracy Steele. Those are our Hall of Famers. But we got a new Hall of Famer. He joined over the weekend. He goes by the name of, drum roll, J-Hub. Shout out J-Hub. Appreciate you for joining up. You are the newest Hall of Famer. J-Hub, on Fridays, we let our Hall of Famers come up here and become a panelist. They get a chance to debate against all of us, or call out all the bogus takes that they've heard over the week, or essentially just get whatever they need to off their chest. So J-Hub, I hope to catch you on a Friday coming up here very soon. DM the Player's Choice account on Instagram or TikTok, or however you can get a hold of us, and we'll get back to you ASAP. In the meantime, once again, it's Monday, and you know what that means, y'all.
What does it mean, Ron?
Top 5 comments of the week, Phil. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got some pretty interesting ones, so I'm eager to hear you guys' reaction to it. So let's make it happen. This is what we're looking at for the first comment of the week. It comes to us by way of Victor Alexander 3767. And this is what Victor had to say. Victor said, not going to lie, y'all. Super dub show. I was so entertained. I really hope Penn and Swiper don't dislike each other in real life. In my opinion, they are both They are both basketball gurus, and honestly, them going at it is money.
Yo, Ron, you got issues, man. Okay, first of all, you said I'm glad y'all survived your weekends for better or worse. So I'm like, who is he wishing death on up here?
I'm saying. Damn, Ron, you wild as hell right now.
Like, now to
What's
this
going on,
comment,
brother?
I don't know. Sometimes I really don't like Swiper. I'm not acting. Swiper, are you acting?
I don't personally dislike anyone who is just trying to find their way in life. So unless you're
find my way in life, what are you?
I am also trying to find my way.
Are you a monk?
No, same philosophy I always maintain. I think only people I do not like are people who are actively trying to commit atrocities in the world. So I mean, there's only one. Everyone else is within the circle.
Are you guys both basketball gurus?
Hell no.
I think I'm learning every day.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's the craziest part of the super chat.
Yeah,
false
that was
modesty
insane,
is the most amazing thing, man. I love it.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, I think you guys both have brilliant basketball minds, but hey, I can only think what I think, right? But shout out to Victor. He believes.
What are you angling at, Ron? It's like you're missing half your sentences. If anyone actually sits there and listens to what you're saying, they're like, "What is this dude?"
Pin, nobody sits there and actually listens to what he has to say. Don't worry, you're the only one listening.
Pin, here's the thing.
You're the only one listening to this.
I'm adopting Swiper's philosophy. I'm adopting Swiper's philosophy. I'm only using 1% of my brain. But let's get back to the next
philosophy when I'm listening to Swiper. Come on, man.
One more comment of the week, number 2. This is by way of Big C 2626. Big C said, "This is info you need to know to get a grasp on how the NBA is now versus back then. In 2024, the All-Stars, number 1, total players was 26. Number 2, total players played with 82 games, 0. Number 3, total games missed combined for the entire 23-24 season on the All-Star roster, 347 games. Now, in 1989, the All-Stars looked like this. Total players, 25. Total players with 82 games played, 6 of them compared to 0. And total games missed, 74 in 1989 compared to 347 in 2024.
Interesting.
So what's that? They average about 3 missed games between them.
Yep.
Nice.
Shout out to AC Green.
Current ones is what, like 13, I think, maybe.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm tired of hating on
To be fair, this year the MVP candidates have all played majority of the games, and I think SGA's only missed 1 injury game. Jokic has only missed 1 injury game. Giannis has missed.
He missed 1 injury because he went to go be with his kids.
Argument.
It wasn't
that's such an ESPN.
No,
That's such an
ESPN. It's not an ESPN stat.
Because of it. Thank you, Pin.
I'm more so.
Thank you.
I'm
Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I'm just going through the MVP candidates this year, though.
Yeah, but they aren't MVP candidates because they haven't played.
Bingo. Sure.
But I also
think Embiid is debilitated too. To be fair,
I mean, but
Luka's been hurt. Luka's been for real hurt.
Technically, everybody's an MVP candidate. Technically,
no.
Technically, I mean, sure. Yeah, sure.
If you're in the league, technically,
if everyone's, I guess if me and Swiper are gurus, everyone can be an MVP candidate. All right, cool. Bet.
No.
Ben, you don't think you're a guru?
Well. To be fair,
for what it's worth, Pin.
Kenny Smith did say on Inside the NBA, he finished, I think, top 15 in MVP voting in 1 year. I remember that conversation.
Cool. Paige Stockbridge finished top 5 in MVP voting. These things don't matter because when you look at the actual breakdown, it's 1 third place vote in a season when most of the players like that's what I don't like when people go to Basketball Reference and be like, this is when this guy started getting MVP votes. It's like, yeah, some dude from his city gave him 1 vote for like 3rd place. Come on, man, that doesn't count.
We're gonna do that with Sabonis.
That's why you're a basketball player.
Yeah, right.
You did.
Sabonis got a vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Sabonis is an elite defender.
Well, sure, that's because you didn't convince everybody that rebounded in his defense, so he deserved that vote.
Absolutely, I have rebounding his defense. 100% it is.
All right, on to the next comment. This is from C-Note, the one and only. C-Note said, real talk to Chill. He said, Chill, what metrics are you using to determine SGA has been more impactful? Chill's response, my eyes.
That's the best response. This is the best response. If he actually said it, that's the best response.
But my eyes.
This man yelled at Ox for pointing out flaws in analytical formulas, and yet he can't share a metric he uses.
That's not true, because I do share metrics that I use. Well, first of all, he lead the league in scoring. So let's start there.
It's not a metric.
It's not?
It's a number. Leave him alone.
It's a metric.
Find peace. Go meditate. Go meditate under a bush, bro.
Right.
Come on.
He leads the league in scoring. He's second in the league in steals. I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not a big fan of the defensive rating because Larry Bird got a better defensive rating than Scottie Pippen, but I think he's top 3 in the league in defensive rating, something like that.
You think or you know?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, Sierra.
I think he's like. I think he could be first. If players playing 30 minutes or above, he could be first.
Yeah, I think he's in the top 3. I think he's in the top 3 in the league in defensive rating. And so I got the league leading scorer. I got a guy who's great in the passing lane and off the basketball. I got a really good on-ball defender who also affects his team on a positive end, playing defense for long stretches. And when I think about what Joker does, and I'm not even going to bring Joker up. Let me take Joker out. What SGA does overall for his unit, where they are and what it's led to, they're at the top of the Western Conference. That's largely due to what he's been doing.
Well, I think that conversation was about who's more impactful. And then it sounded like Kendrick Perkins, who said this on Saturday, verbatim before the Timberwolves game. He said Jokic is the best player in the world, but not the most valuable player in the game. So that's kind of what you've been saying, I think, this year about SGA.
Because those two things are not the same thing.
I functionally disagree with that. I
he's not a basketball
it's impossible
guru?
to be a best.
Kendrick Perkins is,
well, that's what Chill just. That's what Chill.
I don't know.
Chill just said the same thing though. So I'm saying I functionally just don't agree with that.
Because Mars and I just had this conversation about if you are more impactful to your team winning, wouldn't you be the best player in the world? Well, not necessarily, because there's guys who have a better basketball skill set, and with that basketball skill set, I mean, they produce a lot. And from the eye test, it may look good. But what you're doing for your crew individually on both sides of the ball, and not just on both sides of the ball, what it leads to ultimately, which is wins. And that's what's going on in Oklahoma City. So SGA leading the league in scoring, SGA in the top 3 in the league in steals, SGA as one of the best defensive players in the league.
But when you bring that up, though, I think that's where I start splitting out. And it's not like argument; it's just more so philosophical. Because you're saying lead the league in scoring and then top 3 in steals, but then the person you're juxtaposing with is 3, 2, 4, and then I think he's second in 3-point percentage this year or whatever, and then the best offense when he's on the court in the NBA. I think that's among I would say the 30+ per minute star level players. Darius Garland's actually leading the best offense in the NBA when he's on the court this year, which is why I think he's.
And then which is fair, and I can combat that with, and I know you guys don't agree. I can combat that with Oklahoma City got the best defense in the league. He's got a lot to do with that. He has a lot to do with that, considering how much he plays and what his responsibilities are as a defender. It's not like he's just out there for 30. It's not like he's just out there for 30, 35 minutes and they're protecting him the whole time. No, you guys have told me more than once, more than twice. Teams go after him off the strength that he's the weakest defender, yet he holds his own against any and everybody. So they can't go.
But functionally, I think
I watched Spencer Dinwiddie fry him 3 days ago.
Well, I'm not gonna bring that up because that was a
but
Spencer Dinwiddie drive.
It just depends how you define a lot. I don't know how you define a lot to do with their defense. He's
Wait, you say he's a lock for all defense? Chill.
I didn't say
no,
that.
No, a lot for their defense.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't know how you define a lot. There's 5 players I would say who were more impactful towards that defense. So
that play as much as him, Mars? Because again, what I think we have to decipher, Mars, is we got to decipher the better defender and the guy who's on the floor the most and contributing the most. As good as Alex Caruso is, I think Alex Caruso is a better on-ball defender than SGA. The difference is SGA is on the floor the most.
Alex
He's
Caruso
affecting that.
versus the Portland Trailblazers. They dominated the minutes he was on the floor.
And I saw that
in
yesterday.
the same
I
game
did.
that SGA lost
I
the minutes.
actually watched that. I actually watched that game yesterday. He was a disruptor for the time that he was on the floor. So was SGA though. In the same token, so was SGA.
Yo,
my
fellas,
point is
go ahead, Chill. Finish your point, and then we're gonna get to the last.
My point is I can appreciate there being a better defender. Mars, you've said this to me countless times. For the time that Jonathan Isaac is on the floor, Jonathan Isaac might be the best defender in NBA history. But if you put him on the floor for a longer period of time, are we still talking about him like that?
Well, yeah, on defense, yeah. But like, I wouldn't say Paolo contributes to Orlando's defense more than Jonathan Isaac because he plays twice as many minutes. And obviously, Shea is a better defender than Paolo. Like, I'm not making a distinct parallel.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is if one is a clearly superior defender, just because you play 13 or 14 more minutes, that doesn't mean that you're contributing to the defense more, especially when that defender is Alex Caruso. Like, I'm fine with saying Shea's contributed to the defense more than Chet, just because Chet's played 10 games.
Well, and also
even though we all know Chet's more impactful. In
Jordan, and by the way, in the 90, they currently OKC is second all time in on-court net rating in the regular season. I think they're only behind the 1996-97 Bulls. Somebody can correct me. I think it's that year. The 95-96 Bulls Chill are third all time, I believe, right behind them.
Sure.
And I think SGA has a higher net rating than Jordan did in both of those years. So I guess that's what I would ask you. Since if you're making that argument, would you say that SGA is having a better two-way season than Jordan did in those seasons because they're dominating even more on court this year with SGA than the Bulls did with Jordan?
Fellas, we gonna get back to OKC because my man King is the resident OKC fan up here, and I gotta ask him some questions. So we're gonna get right back to that. But we have our last comment of the week from Arias Scola, 1771. Arias said, jersey sales this season. Number 1, Steph Curry. Number 2, LeBron James. Number 3, Jason Tatum. Number 4, Jalen Brunson. Number 5, Wembanyama. Number 6, Ant-Man. Number 7, Ja Morant. Number 8, Luka Doncic. Number 9, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And number 10, Nikola Jokic. And then Arias went on to say, laughing my ass off, SGA has no popularity. He's not even top 10 in jersey sales this season. Nobody feels him. Pause. At all. Dude got no star power whatsoever. Damn.
I'm pretty sure SJ was 11. Pretty sure.
Like
that's crazy.
Right outside the top
I mean,
10.
like,
Does
who
SGA have no motion?
He
He
100.
might
yo,
not. Even if he didn't,
I need to quickly point out Scotty Barnes is leading all jersey sales in Canada, and which is not surprising to anybody at all. Hang on. I got a stat for you that's gonna blow your freaking mind. Okay.
Uh-oh.
He is number 6 in Mexico. Yes, let's do it.
Wow.
Right outside the top 5 in Mexico.
No, I believe we can crack it.
Jerseys,
I believe we can crack that. But Jaime Jaque is leading the way in Mexico.
obviously.
Ben, what are his jersey sales in Zimbabwe?
I don't know about that.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
about Zimbabwe, bro.
I'm
I
sure
would
Giannis got
love
some good
to.
jersey sales in Zimbabwe.
Oh, by the way, this is a side note, but literally just found out. First Chill. I think you were right. Somebody in my comments said you were right. Did my ancestry for the first time. Had no idea in my entire life where I was from. I am 32% Nigerian, mostly Nigerian.
How about that?
Had no idea.
Oh, damn it. Now I got to stop hating on you. Okay. I officially call truce with you right now.
Nice.
Do you accept?
Because he's
No,
Nigerian.
of course. Always.
Great.
Always.
Perfect. Okay. We're done. Perfect.
All right, King.
What's going on?
I
we've
can never
had-
hate on anyone from Nigeria, bro.
We've
Never.
had endless debates on how good of a defender SGA is. So I got 2 questions for you. I need you to tell me how good you believe that he is, whether he's an all NBA level defender, whether he's just an all right defender, whether he's an average defender, or whether you think he's an elite defender. And also, after you do that, I need you to tell me where he's at in terms of ranking on you guys' defense. Like, how many defenders do you guys think you have that are better than SGA?
Okay, so I would say he's
King on
he's
the
an
scale.
exceptional defender.
King, on the
Slightly.
scale- real quick, King.
Okay, my fault. Go ahead.
Before you go any further, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being Killian Hayes, 1 being Olajuwon, where is
Oh, okay.
SGA?
So
Okay, well, first of all, Killian Hayes was actually a solid defender.
I would
He
say
and James Harden.
so. 1 is Olajuwon.
Trae
I
Young.
would say
No,
probably
10,
4.
10 is 10 is
10 is
Oh, 10 is Olajuwon.
10 is
So
Olajuwon.
then I would say
1 is
6 and a half.
Okay,
I
so
think he's
a
just
6.5.
an above average defender.
I agree.
That's what I think. And then to answer your second question, Dort, Caruso, Kason Wallace, obviously Chet. I would say we have 4 better defenders than him at the least.
Where are SGA's strengths as a defender?
Passing lanes, steals. He's pretty good in the pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's where I would. That's my assumption right there.
Where's his weaknesses as a defender?
Post around the rim.
I feel like we could protect you from that.
Well, you can protect them, but you got to think though, they haven't really been healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein has been out.
Right.
Chet has been out, so it's been more exposed as of late. Because you got Jalen Williams at the big.
Yeah, but they still been winning games. And
yeah, I mean they've been winning. They've been winning, but I'm just saying to answer your question.
Right, and they've been winning games largely due to this being a group effort. Like they gang rebound.
Isn't that insane though?
Yeah, it's 100% a group effort.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, they gang rebound. Their rotations are as crisp and as sharp as I've seen of any defensive team that I've ever seen. The communication is fantastic. I don't give Kason Wallace enough credit as a defender.
Yeah,
first of all, we talk about Kason Wallace. I first of all, I keep forgetting he's not 6'5" or 6'6". He's like 6'2" or 6'3". He's not a huge dude, not like for NBA standards. But back to SGA. Mars and I go back and forth with this, and Swiper and I go back and forth with this too. I think SGA is a better on-ball defender than you guys give him credit for. I think he's got. I think he's good. I think that he's good against smaller defenders. I think that his anticipation is good. He beats smaller defenders to spots. I think where he struggles is very much like bigger guys, like bigger wings, like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", guys who are a little bit more physical. I think he struggles against those guys more than he struggles against anybody else. Smaller dudes, I think he holds his own against. I think his hands stay busier than you guys give him credit for. And I think he's a solid rebounder as a defender. And we talked about this earlier. When you're talking about rebounding. As good as Chris Dunn is as a rebounder, I mean, as good as Chris Dunn is, Swiper, as a defender, that doesn't work if we're not getting stops. If whomever he's covering, if we get more than one opportunity or two opportunities to score, then it looks bad on Chris Dunn.
Wait, what does that reflect on? What is Chris Dunn to SGA? What's the comparison right now?
When I said about SGA being a better rebounder than we give him credit for. That's what I was saying.
But is he a better defender than Chris Dunn?
Come on.
I think Chris Dunn is a better on-ball defender than him. Yes.
No, but it's just
100%. I do. I think Chris Dunn is a better on-ball defender than him. I think his anticipation in the passing lane is a little bit better.
But can I ask you this? Can't you say that as far as rebounding about anybody? If you're going to bring up a conversation about defense, when you say rebounding,
not everybody will rebound. No, not everybody will rebound.
Like this, are you talking Shea rebounding compared to Chris Dunn rebounding, or are you talking the team rebounding?
Well, why are we bringing rebounding into this discussion anyway?
So I do think it's part of defense
because that's what I'm trying to understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, but we're not comparing guard rebounding to.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought he was.
No, so the rebound, rebound.
If that's the case, I mean, Jokic is the best defensive rebounder in sport, basically. So I mean,
no,
which is a part of his defensive value.
Sure,
that's what I'm trying to figure out what he's saying.
When I brought up rebounding, when we talked about Chris Dunn, because Ox had brought up the point that rebounding isn't defense. When you limit a team's opportunities to score, when you get stops by rebounding, which helps Chris Dunn. So as good as Chris Dunn is as a one-on-one defender, if he has to guard Luka instead of twice, he's got to guard Luka 4 or 5 extra possessions. That's a problem because we're not rebounding.
But Shea's not the primary rebounder on his team, though.
That's not
so
the
that
point.
wouldn't be his job.
The point is
he helps on the glass.
He just helps. That's the point.
It's everybody's job to rebound, or at least.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. What he was saying is everybody's job then,
and he does that.
Yes.
Box outs are very much down across the league historically. Like we've never seen fewer box outs at all.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's why the skill set and IQ of the NBA is not higher than it used to be. But
I think blocking out a little harder.
I think there's reasons.
But you know what though? Pin. That's why it's not the best basketball league in the world. That's why in the best basketball league in the world, if you watch, they're boxing out a lot.
Well, they're shooting a lot more 2-pointers in that league too, respectively.
Yeah, but also we get 3 to 5 more years of just pure dominance. from the
Ox,
from the
I don't
Las
think
Vegas Aces?
to be honest with you, Ox, I don't your point about blocking out.
Mhm.
In my estimation, these guys they don't block out because I don't think they know how.
It is a skill set for sure. I mean, I've seen
have to
so
work
many
on
players
that,
in the high school level, they don't know how to set a screen. They don't understand the angle of the screen. They don't know how to hold it. They're always moving. So these are the fundamentals that are getting lost in the game because, you know, even man-to-man defense. Yesterday, I attended a coach's clinic here in Toronto. Very, very cool. 750 coaches from around the GTA coming together. And they were talking about how a lot of youth programs, they run zone. They full court press. 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds full court press, but that's what you're doing. You're compromising the development of these players in order to win basketball games. When you're not
What's the problem with pressing?
Well, because kids who are 9 years old and 10 years old can't break a press because they're not skilled enough to break a press. So it just works way too well. It's like your offense hasn't caught up to your defense. But when you get to the NBA level, you try to press Ja Morant. It's 2 points every step, every time, right? So you can't press at the NBA level sustainably against a good team. But at the high school level, like you could press a weak opponent and blow them out 92-10. Easy. You press all game. And if you're 8 deep, you could press all game.
But isn't that a chance for coaches to teach players to stop trying to over dribble, teach players how to spread out and, you know, pass the ball, move the ball around, teach kids how to get to the middle of the court
faster than players.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's a chance to teach. You know what I'm saying? Like where we could teach a press break. Because I mean, the thing about that age is it's easy to press, but it's also very easy to break because a lot of these zones are kids that are undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? They're moving around. So it's a chance to teach players how to get to open spots, you know, how to move the ball over here, get to the middle of the floor, skip it back, you know what I mean? Break those presses. Now, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, you do get some coaches that take advantage of that. But once again, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a very good coaching opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to teach kids how to move the ball and explain to them how Chill just said, the ball moves a lot faster than you do moving. I mean, these presses are easy to break.
Well,
Ox
just
said something. I want you to stay right there, Ben. Ox just said something that I forgot about, and I didn't forget. I'm sorry, I didn't forget about it, but I haven't heard it in a long time. Do guys even know how to break a press, Ox?
Yes.
Really?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
In the NBA,
yeah, 100%. I mean, depends on the team, Ox, but yeah, 100% have seen like team no dribble.
Oh, in the NBA, pressing in the NBA is so difficult. The court is so big. You know, like it's easy when you're a grown man, it's easy to throw an overhead pass from here to there. You know what I'm saying? It's getting there. With younger, it's hard to get the ball. You know.
Also, with what Penn said though, like in the NBA, you can't really press because for the most part, you got one guy that'll break your whole press. Like you can't. Like you'll get Ja Morant a couple times, but if you press Ja Morant all game, you're cooked. You can't press. It's a bunch of guys though. We don't even got to go with the speedy point guard. It's other.
There's a lot of teams that got big long defenders too that can box you up.
Yeah, but it's just tough in the NBA.
Of course, it's really hard. I don't think you should.
We're very results driven and very quick to, you know, we want the immediate gratification of the win, right? Because if I tell you, if I'm a high school coach and I take over a program that's 20-2 the previous year, 20-4, and I'll tell you as, you know, the head administrator that I'm going to lose more games this year, but your players are going to get better, you're not going to like me very much. You're probably going to want me out. But the truth is that those players have a long future in basketball. Potentially some of them have a very long future in basketball, and we need to get those players better. And getting those players better doesn't mean winning 22 games and winning a state championship right now. It means teaching them the fundamentals of the game, teaching them how to screen, teaching them how to dribble. And sometimes, you know, it's very tempting. Unfortunately, I'm sure we've all seen a 6'8", 6'7" kid who was just parked down low and never really given an opportunity to expand his game out because that was the role that he fulfilled on a team they're winning. But letting that kid take a couple threes, letting that kid dribble the basketball a little bit might have helped him out long term. You know, teaching that kid how to handle.
At these high school, we talk about high school.
With that 100%.
We talk about high school basketball. These teams, you have certain programs. Like there are programs that are. We have a strong basketball program. We're here to win. You know, all that we're going to build. But I mean, for the most part, and I'll speak for in America, a lot of these basketball programs are just that. They're just it's just high school sports. You know what I'm saying? They got, you know, the PE teacher is the coach, the math teacher might be the coach, because down here coaches get first priority. And it's just like we're trying to help, but they're like, you can't expect. I think it's unfair to hold high school coaches to that standard. Whereas if that's what you want, you should send your kid maybe to a school that focuses on their basketball program, because teachers get first dibs at their jobs. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the teachers might not really, you know, be that great. So I try not to. Now, when it comes to like AAU coaches and you're supposed to be trying to get better, you're supposed to be trying to get recruited and things like that, then yeah, I get what you're coming from. But I do think it's kind of unfair. Like, because most people don't understand that. Most people don't understand that, okay, this kid is 6'5", 6'6". He's our post player. They don't understand that that's a two guard. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that.
I mean,
you know,
but
you can't expect people that haven't played at a high level of basketball or seen a high level of basketball to understand that. They're like, this kid is huge.
Look at
when in all actuality, in basketball, he's actually pretty small. You know what I'm saying? So they don't, and they might not have the skill set to teach a 6'5" kid how to dribble the ball, how to shoot, you know, one count pull-ups. So when you talk about like AAU in these high level programs, I get where you're coming from, but I do think it's unfair for you know, average PE teacher to understand, well, he's 6'6", he's 6'5", he's not going to be the 5-man at the next level.
I'm not talking about average PE teachers. And when you look at a player like Domantas Sabonis, right? I'm sure his dad taught him all the fundamentals when he was a young kid. I mean, they did it with all the, you know, his brothers as well. I mean, they all play basketball. And you look at Nikola Jokić. Nikola Jokić was playing point guard when he was 14, 15 years old.
But
right?
also somebody you like.
They didn't see a 6'6" kid who was big bodied and say, we're going to stick you in the post. They taught him the full game.
Yeah, but even if you do teach somebody that, like I can take the biggest kid in the city of Seattle and try to turn him into a point guard. If you don't got it, you just don't got it.
I'm not saying turn everyone into a point guard. I'm saying teach them the ball skills. Teach them.
I get that. I'm saying even
the full game.
If you don't got it, you don't got it though.
You got to teach it.
You can't teach, but you can't teach everybody to shoot.
So
look at Amin Thompson.
Ron,
you don't think
Amin
Thompson is a point guard? He is a point guard. He still can't shoot that well. It's certain bigs that we can try to teach him how to. I'm pretty sure, all of these guys do ball handling drills.
Complete basketball player. He can't shoot. He has a weakness.
So that's what I'm saying. You can't teach it.
Nikola Jokić is a complete basketball player.
Everybody not gonna get it, but
Nikola Jokić is a one-of-one. Nikola Jokić is he is him. That's nobody else's Nikola Jokić.
No, but 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", 6'6" guys that are good at basketball, that is an anomaly. Most 6'7", 6'8", 6'6" dudes are clumsy as hell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people on average life, they think like when I talk to people, they're like, damn, bro, you're hella tall. And I'll be like, I'll be forgetting that. I used to forget that I was super tall like that because I play ball and people are way bigger than me. So it's like, they don't understand like these people that are 6'6" and they're clumsy, bro. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's not normal to be coordinated at 6'7", 6'8".
Yo, fellas, I mean, we gotta move on, but King, you would point it to yourself when Penn had alluded to a 6'8" guy playing in the post. How tall are you?
6'7".
6'7". Oh, okay, you got some game.
Go ahead. Yeah, listen, hell yeah. But this is what I want to say to add to this conversation. Speaking of basketball, I'm close with Jameer Nelson. He's a close family friend of ours, and he told me, and I don't know if you guys know about this saying or do you guys believe in it. You can only, if you go by just what your teacher teaches you, you'll only be as smart as your teacher. Do you guys agree with that?
That's a fact. Yeah.
He was basically trying to tell me, because that's what I was saying. I was stuck in a post my whole high school career, right? And he was saying sometimes you got to go out and venture out on your own and learn, go do dribbling and pull up and all work on your one-on-one game on your own rather than just doing what the coach is telling you. Do you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
100%. That's what Dean Smith said with Michael Jordan. You remember that quote? Said, I want to be the best player ever.
Yes.
And he said, well, then you got to work harder than everyone. He said, Coach, I work as hard as everybody else. He's like, well, I didn't hear you saying you want to be as good as everybody else. You said you want to be better. You got to outwork them.
You got it. There you go. And that's what he was basically trying to tell me, because for years I was complaining about how I was just putting the post because I'm taller than everybody. Just play paint defense. Don't play perimeter defense. Just block shots. So that's why I had pointed to myself.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they brought it up yesterday in the coaches clinic. There's 6 million people in Serbia. There's 10 million registered basketball players in America.
Yep.
tell me how the hell the best player in the world is Serbian right now. If y'all actually develop, like I'm not even trying to be like us versus you kind of thing. Because yes, I am
the best
from that
player in the world
region.
is definitely Greek, but okay, I got you.
Same applies.
Whatever you say, he's European. Okay, my point is, my point is that they are like countries in Europe, like Lithuania and Serbia, are overproducing basketball players relative to the population. They're overproducing, right? Basketball players. Like there's been tons of players that have come out of the ex-Yugoslavian region, and
y'all got the tennis too, though.
The greatest player of all time in tennis is Serbian. Yes, there is an athletic gene, maybe, but I think it also comes down to the war. I think it comes down to coaching. I'm gonna be honest. It comes down to coaching because Serbs came over to the United States. They studied what the United States was doing. Because I'm sure Chill would know this. In the 1970s, the U.S. was like bar none #1 in basketball for everything across the world, right? The best coaches, the best. You got John Wooden, you got Red Auerbach, you got like a lot of great coaches here. So people from Europe, people from Spain specifically, Jordi Fernandez has talked about this, Darko's talked about this. They came from Spain, they came from Argentina, they came from Croatia, Serbia, Russia, and they studied these gurus, right? The problem is, the people overseas were studying your gurus better than their disciples were studying them. Right. So you just had like a lot of people going overseas and saying, okay, well, I learned this from John Wooden. I learned this from this book. I watch a UCLA practice. This is a Princeton offense. This is what they're running. And they just perfected it. And they just implemented this work ethic. And I'm just telling you, as someone who has seen up front, like how they do it in the EuroLeague, the way they develop players is so much better over there than the AAU system over here, for sure. It's way better.
What do you recommend? Like, let's talk about high school. Let's bring it back to high school coaches. What if you had to say what every high school coach should do with their players? You would say what?
Decision making. Quick decision making. Read and react. I would do a lot of drills to sharpen the players' minds, teach them the game of basketball properly. Teach them where to cut, where to relocate, how to play off their teammates, how to play with their teammates, how to move without the basketball. I think a lot of basketball training today is focused on what you do with the basketball. But think about Klay Thompson.
Right.
That game where he scored, I don't remember, 60-something points. If you remember that
60,
game,
61. 12,
do you know how many seconds? Do you know how many seconds he held the basketball?
2.3 seconds, I think. Yeah, like 2.3 seconds, something like that.
For the entire game, he held the basketball. So what was actually happening? And when you look at consistently the teams that have won NBA championships, from Phil Jackson's triangle in Chicago to Los Angeles, to the Spurs motion offense, to Eric Spoelstra's principles, to what the Golden State Warriors have done. What is consistently winning at every single level? Whether you're talking about the NCAA level, other than high school, where talent and your youth and your athleticism and that just wins out. That shit doesn't translate anywhere else. It doesn't translate.
Yeah, but Pin, okay, I heard you. It's time for a little pushback though, Pin, because we went pretty deep there, bro. Like,
did I cut deep?
Jokic. Yes, I'm hurt. Jokic is definitely top 3 basketball player in the world, but for you to say that the
Giannis is not better than him. Giannis is not better than him.
That's not even the point. The point. That's not even the point. I don't care who's better. Like Giannis, SGA, I don't care. Luke, whatever. So my thing is this: for you to say that the development process overseas is just far better than over here, it would lead me to think that you think I don't know. Like there's maybe the top 50 players in the world. I would say that when like 10 of them have to be Serbian or something. I don't think that's close to the case. You know what I'm saying? Like
because the population.
I think out of huge. I understand but still the population or not, whatever. It doesn't matter for the development system to be that much better. Like out of the top 100 players in the world, I mean, 20 of them would have to be Serbian, right?
The top 3 players in the world today are from Europe.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying
Giannis is from Nigeria.
Ox, you're 6'9", right?
He's from. Look. The point.
Parents
the point
are from
is. The
Nigeria.
point is.
Let me rephrase that.
You got it. You said it.
Out of the top 100 players in the world, 80 of them are American.
That's not true. Is it true? 100% undisputed truth.
Well, I mean, we're gonna drop our top 75 here pretty soon, and we'll be able to go in there and decipher.
70 of them are American.
Schengen's not American. Right. Franz Wagner's not American. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not American.
I know. 70 of the top 100 players in the world are American.
And I know we got to move on, Ron. But to your point, Ox, there's a Switzerland dude. His name's Sergei Federer. I mean, we talk about the best tennis player ever. Yeah, it's a dude in Switzerland. I know how good
Andy Murray won Wimbledon.
I know how good Joker was. I know how good Joker is, but the dude in Switzerland got something to say.
Chill. I was just saying that Djokovic is that dude. You know, to me, the best of all time is Andre Agassi. So
I mean, both Jokers are overrated, but we don't really got time to get.
See Ron with the bullshit. See, Ron always got to start with the goofy shit. He does this all the time. All the time he does this. Anyway,
Ron, you keep with these super chats. Are we gonna talk about Jewel Lloyd or what?
Take that jersey off.
Well, I mean, the Vegas one, I can't just get it overnight.
Sure, well, let me get that one after you get the Vegas one. Nah, I got a nice place to put it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into these super chats. We will get into that. We'll talk about the Joel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum trade and who actually won it. Because surprisingly, it's not the team that you guys think won it. It's another team that actually went away.
The Aces finna three-peat.
And King, we also got to get your top 10 too. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got some super chats. 41 Stan said the Mavs have beat the Lakers 9 out of the last 11 games. We own them. The Clippers are a harder matchup with Derrick Jones Jr. and Kawhi on defense. The only teams I'm scared of is the Celtics and the Pacers. Maybe Denver. Jokic tax. Celtics and the Pacers. You're right.
It makes sense. Yeah, it adds up. If I was the Mavs, I'd be concerned about Cleveland too, but scared. I don't know. That's a weird word to use, I think, generally, but makes sense.
MP13 said, if you are not watching, I'm here to tell you that Kawhi is shaping into form. I don't need to hear these numbers. You are not watching if you are trying to tell me that he's a 52% shooter.
Yeah, I know he's not. I'm saying that's what he's shooting. So yeah, I mean, you can project it's going to get a lot better. I would bet money it's getting a lot better, but you don't know how much better it can get, and you don't know if he's going to become a superstar again. You don't know that. Right. If you say you know that, you're lying.
Ant MJ 235 said, Penn, would you rather have Ant or Scotty Barnes entering the 2025 playoffs, and why?
Scotty Barnes. I take Scotty Barnes because I'm not Mars.
Oh, you stand up for your team.
I'm not a hoe. Okay, like I stand up for my team. You know, I'm not for the streets.
You can't tell the truth.
What's the truth?
It's his truth.
It's my truth. It's not
okay, but I'm saying,
there's no objective truth here.
Are you reasons because Scotty's better or Scotty's more built for the playoffs, or are your reasons because you're a fan of Scotty Barnes?
Legit, I think Scotty is absolutely built for the bright lights. He never crumbles under pressure ever. He's a great fourth quarter scorer. He damn near put up a triple-double in his very first playoff game before Joel Embiid stepped on his foot. So I'm just gonna say it. Like, I think Scotty is rounding into form as one of the best players in the league right now. Charles Barkley said he's a top 10, 15 player. That's right around the same place they put Anthony Edwards. I know most people will be like, this is crazy, Anthony Edwards.
That's why I had him at.
Here's the thing. I think Scotty's a better playmaker. When defenses tighten up, I trust Scotty to make a playmaking situation. Like, what's the thing with half court offense, right? Is that when defenses double you, right? Like Scotty, the whole development is backwards because his swagger, his wiggle and all the ball handling stuff and the shooting and the footwork, that stuff is what needs to work. But with Anthony Edwards, it's the decision making that needs to be perfected out. I think
you've seen what Anthony Edwards did to the Suns last year, right?
You just said no one's scared of the Suns. So what the hell do I care what he did to the Suns? No, I respect Anthony Edwards. I think Ant's amazing. I think Ant's a really damn good player, and he's just as young, if not younger, than Scotty. What I'm trying to say is, though, Scotty's a bigger player. I think he's the better defender. Some people push back on that. I think he's the better defender, and I think that he's a much better playmaker. And I trust that his game will expand into that. But I would never hate on anybody who said Anthony Edwards. I would never hate on that. It's perfect.
I would like to say that prior to the draft, I said that Scotty Barnes is going to be a top 5 player in the league someday. I don't think he gets that high, but I can see a world where he's top 10.
Definitely top 10. You think he's a top 10 player at some
He
point?
can be.
That's what I'm talking about. He could be a top 10 player at some point based on
his coach just said it yesterday in a presser that he said, in a couple of years, 100% he's going to be a top 5 player in the league. So
that's what his coach is supposed to say.
I mean, no, he's not saying that about anybody else. Like he's not capping.
How you know he's not capping? Like we don't know.
Look, Darko doesn't lie. Okay, Darko compared.
Why? Is he Serbian?
No, he's from my hometown, Chachik. People from Chachik don't lie. Trust me. Okay.
They lied to you when they told you they don't lie.
No. Look.
So Chachik's just that utopian place where everybody pays.
Everybody tells the truth.
They leave the doors unlocked and
everything. Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to keep it pushing on these super chats.
What you got, Ron?
Zoo Money became a YouTube member. Big shout out to Zoo Money. Clad Diamond sent through a members chat. Clad's been around for 15 months. Clad said, Dub PC, L Hawks, L Trey Young, Dub Dyson Daniels. Why L Hawks and L Trey Young?
I don't understand.
What happened? What happened? Did Trey Young have the worst game of his life?
When
he left, he banned himself. No, it wasn't Scotty Barnes. Give some love to Davion Mitchell there. Davion Mitchell did a great job.
I knew they played the Raptors. I was wondering if it was
love to Davion.
It's interesting how
we squashed it. We're good.
It's interesting how Giannis gets locked up by Scotty Barnes and Trey Young gets shut down by Davion Mitchell. Meanwhile, the Toronto Raptors at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. What's going on?
5 out of 6.
I mean,
5 out of 6. We won 5 out of 6. Chill. 5 out of 6. Beat the Lakers.
I mean, still though, Trey Young get locked up by Davion. That's not the first time that's happened.
And by the way, beat the Hawks on the road.
You know how I feel about Davion Mitchell.
We didn't hang on. I just want to put this in context because I know Ron is going to cry tears of sadness right now. He's probably off camera right now. He's probably going to pull himself off camera and cry into a tissue right now. Trey Young has literally never had a single game box plus minus negative 17.8, negative 17.6 in a single game in his whole career when he's played over 30 minutes. This is the first time in his life. And I'm gonna say this: last year, Steph Curry, worst game of his life, Toronto Raptors. This year, Trey Young, worst game of his life. I'm not talking the season. I'm not talking like with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh, he got 11 points in the season, and he made it up somewhere else. I'm saying worst game of your life.
Hey, Pink, you do me a favor real quick.
It's not like Trey Young never played against Davion Mitchell.
Trey
Young
played
against
him
great. Before.
Trey Young
it's not like Giannis never played against Scotty Barnes before. I mean, give me a break, man. What's going on here? I'm sorry, Ron. Keep going.
Just real quick though, Pin. I just need a quick favor. Now I know it's not going to take you long, and I know I ask you to do it every day. But could you please explain to me, a slow panelist and any slow viewers out there, what does box plus minus mean?
Oh my god!
So it is a formula which determines.
So you don't want to know too?
I still have not gotten a satisfactory answer on this. Still,
I just want to figure it out.
For me, you still use box plus minus. Right?
Well, come on, help us out, Pin.
Okay. So it is attempting to measure your impact on the box score using your box score data. So per 100 possessions, it gives you it's a rate stat, which attempts to use your offensive and defensive contribution to your team's success in order to estimate how much better your team is with you on the court per 100 possessions. So to give you an idea of what these numbers mean, -2 would be considered a bench player. 0 is like a decent starter. 2 is like a good starter. 4 is like an all-star. So 3 to 4 is an all-star. 6 is an all-NBA season.
Right. Okay,
8
but
is an
see,
MVP.
Pin, real quick, because you lost me there.
Why?
I understand what they're trying to do, like what the box plus minus is for, what it means, and what the numbers, the significance of what the lower numbers mean, the higher numbers mean. I want to know, how do you get to the number? What's the formula?
It's a really complicated formula, but it's very easy to look up. So there are certain things that they consider. What is it worth? So what's a point worth in a team context? What's a 3-pointer worth? What's an assist worth? How much do you get docked for a turnover? And then basically the goal of catch-all or one metric stats is to give you one number at the end. It's a very difficult.
Does the turnovers for everybody count the same?
No.
Mars, just so you know, it's really easy to find out how to replace an engine in a car. It's ridiculously difficult to do it though.
But I'm saying, so who determines how much a turnover is worth for different players?
The formula.
They find like tendencies of like the way because I remember this from when I had the defensive boss plus minus conversation. Things are weighted differently based on the position they view you as. And what I later found out was that your listed position isn't necessarily the position that box plus minus views you as. It's more so as
wait, who is they? Box plus minus got eyes and views.
Whoever created the model, because they changed it when Russell Westbrook dominated it. So whoever created box plus minus 2.0, which is the commonly accepted box plus minus model. So like different positions, different things within the box score are worth different things. So like a point guard, a block is worth more for him than it is for a center, for example. An assist for a center is worth more than an assist for a point guard.
But every center gets the same.
Every center, the assist value is the exact same, but not a center is in and this is why it gets confusing. Not a center is in you play the five. The box plus minus model has to view you as a center within their model. Like Jokic is listed as like
by whose eyes?
But
that I don't know. I don't know how they
this attempts to wait out. So this attempts to wait out some of the predominant issues with stats like PER, where basically, I'll give you the example of a PER demon, Clint Capella. Every year,
and you know what, Penn? Just based on what the conversation you and Mars just had, I can no longer accept these box plus minus numbers. I'm sorry, brother. But
that's okay.
But everybody else will though. It doesn't matter what I think. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
that
fine.
Just sounds like a whole lot of bullshit.
Like if you need to understand how bad a game Trae Young had, he shot 25% from three. He had 11 turnovers, and through 3.5 quarters, he didn't register a single assist.
Hey, where was the game at?
It was in Atlanta.
That was crazy.
You see, it's been snowing in Atlanta, so it's some weird things going on.
Oh, we've seen guys have bad. We've seen guys have
wasn't snowing good or not.
Yo, and I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that y'all know Trae Young is leading the league in assists. Yep. He had a 202 game streak of at least 5 assists. In the same weekend, the Raptors not only broke Trae Young's 5 assist streak. Ron, you can go off and cry. They also broke Bogdan Bogdanovic's 3-point streak, which was at 102. So 102 games straight with at least 1 3-pointer made. So I'm just saying, man, like this Raptors team has been an ass defense all year, but they pick up really high. And I think the entire conversation we've had about OKC's defense, Shea, etc., the comments that I've seen in response to that, some of the DMs I've gotten, I think we need to probably look very deep into how we talk about defense and how we think about defense. Because there's a lot of principles at play that I feel like are not getting fully factored in, and ball pressure is definitely one of them.
I've seen guys go 9 for 21 and 10 for 11 from the stripe and 8 assists and 5 turnovers, and there were +2 in the box plus minus. What the fuck is happening right now?
I don't know, but I guess what I'm confused about, as I have been listening silently to this, and I've seen Chill now in several episodes do this head shake when we start bringing. I guess they're really not that difficult to understand. And we brought our basic box plus minus. All it is that when you're on the court, lineup variations based on the runs you allow, based on the runs you're a part of, this is how much you won or lost a game by when you're on the court. I think Joker was a minus 33. That's what I was saying. I was just saying that he brought up he said +2. Like after 5 turnovers, 8 assists, like Joker was like a minus.
No, he's talking about box plus minus. He's not just talking.
Well,
he
said +2 after the game, so you're talking about +2 in the box plus minus. Okay, all right. Well, then I think I don't use game by game box plus minus. I just don't really see the true value. Like, but I think season long stuff you can do it. I think career stuff you can do it. But I just think like all this stuff is just again, it's all supposed to be a tool to help. I think understand basketball.
Yeah, it's not supposed to replace, watching the games. It's just supposed to give your eyes a little bit of support in terms of what you're watching. Because, again, like sometimes we become ball dominant with our watching. Right, we're watching the basketball, but so much of value in terms of basketball is being created off the ball, trailing your man and making sure he doesn't get open. Cutting off a screen or navigating a screen properly, things like that, communicating.
Pen, if that's the case, then cats need to watch more basketball and learn the game. Box plus minus is not going to teach you how to learn basketball. Box plus minus is not going to teach you how to understand off-ball action. Box plus minus is not going to teach you how, when you watch the game, to break it down and understand what you're looking at.
That's one stat, and it's mostly the front office that uses that.
I'm
kind
talking
of stuff.
about all analytics, though. Like,
but analytics for screen chasing.
Y'all don't get. Hey,
but
don't
I mean,
get me on my death
I know
analytics.
they do, because you can be in the room with these people, and then one of the first things they'll bring up is like basic basketball reference, on court, off court, net rating. Like Calvin Booth referenced that for like Christian Brown, like, oh, without KCP in the lineup, and they were like a plus 13 last year, very limited sample size, like stuff you would read on day to day. As a matter of fact, they take a lot of stuff off of our tweets and all that stuff. That's a whole different discussion. But I think, Ron, there's a lot of good analytics out there for like helping you determine like how effective somebody is on the defensive end, because they track all that stuff, and it's supposed to help you. Like, say, hey, you should be doing better here. Here's how. Like, we do the same thing for shooting. Like, when players aren't shooting well somewhere on the floor, like, we have consistently, coaches will tell them like, hey, you're doing this. This is what's happening when you're in the left corner three. You need to tighten this up in your form or in your breathing, and then therefore come back next year, you shoot better. Like, that's all analytics. It's all still helpful. It's
I have a question.
How do you apply it?
Is a 3-pointer from a center worth more than a 3-pointer from a point guard for you?
Well, yes, just because of how the defensive coverage works. That's that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you got a center, but here's why. Now think about this. So real simple. Like Embiid, for instance. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you don't understand something, I think laughing at it is, for me, like, it's disingenuous. I think it's just a simple answer. For me, Ox, when Embiid is hitting his 3-pointers in a playoff setting, like he did versus the New York Knicks last year, in certain games where we had that 50 ball, when his jumpers are going down, by nature of how you have to cover Embiid, because he's a 7-foot big, if you have a 7-foot big that hits 13 jump shots in a basketball game, that basically breaks how your defense is supposed to operate. And now he's surrounded with shooters and players who can drive. So a center hitting jump shots, especially long twos or long threes on me, which means I have to extend my defense out in a coverage. And again, Joe, you watch a lot of Joker. When Joker's shooting well from three, which is all this year, what does he do after he makes that first one? Pump fake, drive, and now everything's open. And it's Aaron Gordon lob, it's Christian Brown 3, Murray 3, Porter 3. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's where's a point guard, Chill. If a point guard's hitting threes, you extend your defense that you already naturally have set, more than likely. Now, Steph Curry obviously is an anomaly. Like,
well, if your defense is if my defense is predicated on who is shooting, like,
here's the thing, Ox. I think it's so valuable to get competent rim protection from your guard position. Negates the shooting, the stretch big. See, that's the whole point. See, what
about the bigs that aren't competent rim protectors?
Well, they're messed up anyway, because they're going to suffer there anyways. But no, listen what I'm saying. Like if you have the Indiana Pacers, right? Let's just say you face the Indiana Pacers. If you're the Denver Nuggets, right? What's the one place where I want Tyrese Halliburton? I want him on the ball, or I want him at the rim, because I know he can't guard either. What's the last place I want him? I don't want him hidden. So now shooters are going to help me to exploit that. Right, good screeners are going to, but where's the box score staff for screening and all that stuff that's going to put Tyrese Halliburton in a position where I actually want him to be? Now, when Nikola Jokic starts hitting threes, what does Miles Turner have to do? Miles Turner has to abandon the post a little bit, and he has to actually come up a little bit higher. What that does is it opens up all sorts of driving.
Let Chill ask this question there, because I know you've been trying to ask. Go ahead, Chill.
Well, what you had brought up an interesting point, Spipo, about the point guard. Well, I can say the same thing about the lead guard, because when he's cracking the long ball, he gets downhill. Now your big guy is around the basket more, which makes him more viable, whether he's in the dunker spot, even if he's in the mid range. My point guard, he can shoot it in the mid range. He can get other people involved. He can get to the rim. He can beat up on your big guys. As I'm trying to make sense in how that's more valuable than my big man.
You brought up a great, remember Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, I think that's one of the things too, Chill. Like, just so what you just said. So if the guard is driving and I want to load up on the guard more, then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to be able to trap at that level, or we're going to play like a very specific kind of pick and roll coverage where now when you're going downhill, I'm leaving 2 on you at all times, because you don't have a threat at the center position that can shoot the ball. Now you can get a lob threat, but again, still like functionally guarding a lob threat as opposed to guarding a big that can extend to the 3-point line.
Sure.
Chris Bosh broke that with the Miami Heat. Kevin Love broke that with the Miami Heat. Now you can't just like send 2 and then recover in the paint. Now you have to send to recover outside. Now you're rotating. And you know this because you're a huge Boston Celtics fan. That's why KP made them damn near unstoppable, because KP, now if you overload towards the rim, well, KP's just sitting out here, and then what happens? You rotate to KP because he's an elite three-point shooter.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that these analytics are giving more credit to a big man for shooting a three because that makes the defense spread out?
I wouldn't say more credit. I think what's happening is analytics are showing.
Yes.
I think analytics are showing
they don't lie.
There's tremendous amounts of upside to having a big that can shoot.
100% there is.
That makes your offense better.
There's also drawbacks to that, like you just mentioned with the lead guard. So when the lead guard's getting downhill and you load up on him, okay, you're taking away that one thing. Well, if I got the big fella outside shooting the long ball, when my lead guard is driving downhill and he's shooting the basketball, my big fella isn't around the rim to offensive rebound, which is another part of analytics, which makes our offense better when my big man is offensive rebounding, because that gives us more possession.
But think about it. There's no big, then there's easier access to twos for layups and dunks, which is why, I think this is why the Joker equation for me is Joker's the best offensive player in the sport, and he has been for several years, and he's a center. But one of the reasons is, Jill, they lead the NBA in paint points, layups, and dunks.
Sure.
But that's because there's no big in the vicinity of the guard or wing like there traditionally would be, because Joker is living at the nail or around the three-point line. And so every time he sets the ball up top and he passes the ball into the paint over the big, or when they double with a big and a wing, then it's an easy dump to AG, Russ, Murray, Porter, and now there's a wide open layup.
Right.
At the rim.
But to your point, does that have more to do with Joker's ability to shoot at the long ball line, or more of his ability to pass? Because when I think about Joker's ability to pass, I think that's what their offense is constructed around. Their offense is constructed around his ability to pass and play. Make sure, if I'm a big man, what am I more willing to give up? I'm more willing to let Joel Embiid crack that long ball all night long, as opposed to letting him live around the rim or letting him play in the mid post, because he's much more dangerous in that area than he is 30 feet away from the basket.
But think about it, Joe. If you're running a DHO set as an offense and you have a big that's a shooter, you functionally have to guard a DHO differently than you would for a big that's not a shooter. You know what I mean? If I'm setting a screen with ball and I'm Derek Lively, well, the whole objective now is for Lively to roll opposite direction. But then I can guard that differently than Jokic or Embiid leaving the DHO. And now if I sink the big in with me, they don't want to give the switch up. This is also the great thing about having a big like Embiid, Giannis, Joker, because now if I get a switch because the guard is diving downhill so quickly, now I got one of the best scorers in the NBA sitting at the top of the key with a mismatch. Or if you don't want to leave, and then now the big has to stay attached to one of Giannis, Jokic, or Embiid, now the guard has a literally wide open path with a trailer who's 3 feet behind him because of a screen that was set. All because of the shooting value, or for Giannis's instance, the elite all-time great rim rolling value that he provides. And so I'm saying having a big that can shoot functionally, I think, changes how an offense is functioning. So if that makes sense.
It does.
All right, fellas. Let's move on to some more super chats. Elijah Cruz said, Mars, are you tripping about Houston? They can definitely make a Western Conference Finals run. Their defense is insane, and Amin Thompson and Tari Eason is the next great defensive duo.
Mars, I know I've said this to you before, and I'm going to say it to you again. I watched the Oklahoma City Thunder turn Russell Westbrook into a point guard. Get this kid the ball, Mars. Teach him how to play the lead guard. Stop playing. Get this kid the ball, teach him how to play lead guard. That's your point. You don't need to go into the draft. You don't need to go into free agency. That's your lead guard for the next 10 years right there. Give him the ball, teach him how to play lead guard.
That boy's special.
Easier said than done. But yeah, I hope you're right. I'm not here praying on the Rockets' downfall to be like, oh, I told you we couldn't win a playoff series. No, I want to go to conference finals.
Yeah,
I want to win a championship. It's just, I don't think it will happen, but I mean, it could. I mean, definitely rooting for them. I'm not going to be in the first round like, oh, please lose so I can say I was right. No, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, I definitely hope that's correct. I just don't think the offense is going to be able to score in the postseason. It's going to be very similar to what I saw from Orlando last year. And they were struggling to crack 100 in a lot of games. So I think that's what's going to happen to Houston. But yeah, Amen's special. I'm going to keep saying it until everyone comes to the same conclusion. He reminds me he's the second best player from that draft class, and it's really not close. Like Wemby's in a tier of his own. and then Amen's in a tier by himself as the second best player in that class. No one's touching him. He's very clearly the second best player from that class.
Ab Too Cool became a YouTube member. Shout out to my man Ab. Appreciate you for joining up. Capo has been a member for 15 months and said, none of this matters. No one believes in James Harden, so Kawhi is cooked. Official
I'm on
B.
board, yo. I'm in. That's all I gotta say. Ox.
You on board, and I guess I'm James Harden FC. I didn't know.
Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
I had no idea. I've been a James Harden fan since like 2013.
Yo,
man.
Stay away from me. Official V has been a member for 11 months and said, a Cowboys fan from Philly? Shaking my head.
So
look, stuff happens. It is what it is, man. There's worry about Pat Mahomes, man. That's all I'll say.
just so you know, it's people who live in Boston that like the Lakers.
Of
Just
course.
so you know,
That's
going
every
on.
state.
That's happening right now. So now you can't be from Oklahoma and be a Texas fan. You're gonna have a problem doing that. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just be quiet about it.
Is there Boston fans in LA, don't you?
Yes. Especially when I was younger, there's people in Boston who love Larry Bird. Yes.
All right, 6 Eva Mir became a YouTube member. Shout out to 6 Eva Mir. Thanks for becoming a member. Also, we got another super chat or a members chat from 8 Gates Lee. Been around for 16 months. 8 said 40 points on that Greek running back bum. Uno Nation?
Uno Nation.
Yeah, that's Uno Nation. James Harden FC. What we talking about? Yeah, it's just that's what we do. That's why we're gonna be an all-star.
All right.
All right.
I don't know why you look at I don't know why you look like that, man. That's why
All
we're gonna be an
right.
all-star.
Shout out James Harden, 2025
Yeah.
All-Star.
Yes.
Rod sent through a members chat and said, Bulls want to trade for Bill. I'm done with the Bulls.
Get the Bulls on my TV.
Ultimately, it's up to Bradley Beal. Like,
It's no way
Bradley Beal,
back
if
when
Bradley Beal don't want to
Chicago.
go to Chicago, then the Bulls can't shoot themselves in the foot.
He like, nope, I ain't doing that. I'm not going to play for the Bulls. No.
DSG Piccolo said, Tumani FC, we up. Made SGA work for every bucket and shot the ball well. Jeremy Grant is a basketball terrorist. That bum is garbage. The Zionist, our best player, he has been hooping lately.
We had a 2-possession game last
Yeah,
night.
he is nice.
We had a 2-possession game with a minute and a half. And I want to say it was not Tamani, but the other big kid, not Klingon, the other big kid. He goes into the lane and he throws the ball back out. It was one of the weirdest plays that I've seen. He throws the ball back out. Instead of swinging it back to Scoot, who would have probably swung it right to the corner to Simons, who was wide open. But instead, they kind of was stepping on each other last night. The more I watch the Trailblazers, the more I'm saying it, and I'm going to stand on it. Give Scoot the ball. Get a ball to Scoot.
Shout out to Scoot. Yeah, Tamani nice, man. Tamani nice.
I
Denny
do
nice.
like Tamani for real.
I do too. I do.
Those are the building blocks. Scoot Henderson's making threes. That's cool. Shout out to Scoot. Shaden not looking great. That's disappointing, but we move.
Because of how they're using them, Mars. One, Chauncey yanks him in and out of the lineup. That's number one. Number two, they don't play nearly as fast as they should with him on the floor. A lot of that stuff is slow with him on the floor. That's not to his strength. That is not to his strength. I think Shaden is a lot better transition player than Chauncey is using him, and they don't speed the game up as much. And that's what I want to turn Scoot into. I want to turn Scoot into more of a distributor and showcase Shaden as the athlete that he is. Problem is Simons is on the floor and he's stepping on that. That's why I want to get a ball to Scoot.
Shaden also just doesn't run very hard in transition. He doesn't help himself. I don't know what it is. He plays like he's too cool to try. That's how Shaden plays. He doesn't get himself very many easy ones because in transition he'll just drift to the 3-point line instead of filling lanes hard and getting to the rim. In the half court, like everything is just slow. Like he plays like he doesn't want to play at full speed, which is like some people call it pace, but at the end of the day, I don't call what he does pace. He just plays nonchalant, which is cool sometimes, but I don't think he's really good enough in the half court to do that. So I'm quite disappointed in Shaden. But we'll see. He's young. He's like 21. So he'll be all right.
It's interesting you mentioned that because Coach Ox, my high school basketball coach, said that you can either be cool or you can play basketball. You can't be both. Which one you want to be? You can't be both of them.
Hey, shout out Mikey Williams. He was cool. And he was cool.
On the floor, you can't be cool and play basketball. Which one
UCF,
is?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Bronny James. He's cool and hooping too. By the way, since we're just giving.
Yeah, surprised you didn't make the title about him. You just making titles about anything these days. So
Well, tomorrow. It's always tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
Jalen King sent through a members chat and said, daily reminder, Amen Thompson is him.
He's on his way. He is 100%.
He's amazing.
He's on his way.
He's gonna be full defense in year 2.
FIFA Boy sent through another members chat and he said, "Hey Ron,
how did it taste?
How do it feel?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that
pause
means.
emoji or something in this first off before you address me with something like this. Second off, we don't want Jewel. We're not tripping off Jewel.
Whatever, Ron.
Hey, no, what you just say about De'Aaron Fox? No, keep the same energy. What you say about De'Aaron Fox? He don't want to be here. He don't want to be here. We don't want him here. Okay, she don't want to be here. Get your ass on.
Yeah, but she just went over there and got with Jackie, Asia, and Chelsea. So you can say what you know.
I'm here to tell you it's not gonna look as pretty as it sounds.
Why not?
I'm here to
give me a real basketball reason why Jackie and Jewel ain't finna be hell on that perimeter.
It's not everybody. It's not gonna look as pretty as it sounds. I'm just gonna tell
you.
Why
not, Ron?
Because them super teams never tend to just be flawless like you think they are. They never.
They got Chelsea. But they got Chelsea. They got Chelsea Grace. She gonna take care of all that. This is crazy. I mean, but you know, like the WNBA is smaller. It's smaller team. It's a smaller league, so there's less teams. It's going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like stars are gonna link up. They're gonna click up. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was a good move for everybody, though.
Yeah. I think everybody won.
I love what the Sparks did, especially if Seattle. If they draft Kiki with that number 2 pick, like they're supposed to, put Kiki and Ezzy together. That's nice.
Yeah, and I mean, the Sparks really got a squad on the low. Like you put Kelsey Plum over there with. They just drafted Rakia Jackson. You got Cam Brink. They got De'Erica. And they still got Kia. And they still got Azura Stevens. Like, they really got a squad over there.
So we got to find out, first of all, if Cam is made of glass. That's the first thing we got to find out. That's number one. We got to find out if she made of glass. That's number one. Number two, we also got to sell tickets, too. And that's why Kelsey is there. It ain't like Kelsey brought over there so they can win the NBA championship. No,
chill. I'm telling you,
that's some star power that they have.
Do not
right now.
On the Sparks.
Not right now.
They are.
They're not contenders
on them, Ron. I'm
not
snoring on them.
I'm not contenders.
Rakia like that, Cameron like that, De'Erica just she averaged 20 and 10. Kelsey Plum is that good of a.
And who's the post holding up that tent, Ron? Who's the post holding up that tent?
Kelsey Plum.
Cameron. No, it's Cameron.
Kelsey Plum.
No,
all right, my bad. Kelsey Plum is the team.
It's the big girl. She's the one, and we don't know if she made a glass, so we got to find that out. That's why I'm not sure if they're contenders yet. No,
they're not contenders. Chill. They're not contenders. The LA Sparks are not contenders.
Right.
But I think they just got a lot better, and I think that just brightened up their future though. I think they have a really bright future, but they're not contenders this season. I mean, this season the contenders are the same contenders as last year. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as last year. It's the Liberty, the Suns, the Lynx, and the Aces.
I will tell you right now, the Toronto Tempo are going to be hella great when they get Flau'jae Johnson and Juju Watkins. Please, Lord, let that happen. Please, Lord, let that happen.
How they go?
Flau'jae not going to Toronto, Penn.
Why not?
She's an American superstar.
She belongs here. Just like Vince Carter and Scotty Barnes belong here. Just like Kawhi Leonard popped off here. Was Kawhi a bigger deal in Toronto or was Kawhi a bigger deal in San Antonio? Be for real.
San Antonio.
No, he was not.
He was
definitely the talk of the league.
Yeah, he was definitely a bigger deal in Canada.
Either way, it's not. But I'm saying it's like.
Did you hear about Kawhi and Dine? Did you hear about Kawhi and Dine?
Toronto
heard
ain't make
about that,
Kawhi. Don't try to. Don't
I didn't
ever.
say they
Don't
made
No.
they
We
Don't
celebrated
ever
him.
try to insinuate that Kawhi got popping because in Toronto. What are you talking about?
When have you first and last time you heard Kawhi Leonard is adjacent to Michael Jordan conversations? Because I swear to God, I only heard that when he was here.
That's because of Toronto.
That's because of how he played here.
No, it's propaganda. 100%.
According to
Swiper, what's the opposite of yes, Swiper? What's the opposite of yes, Swiper?
No.
Yo, Vince was a bigger deal in Toronto than he was anywhere else. That's a fact. Yo, anytime Toronto has had a real superstar, they have been promoted. Anytime they had fake superstars like Pascal and Chris Bosh, nothing happened. But anytime we've had like one of them ones, Vince Carter 2001, everybody rocking a Vince Carter jersey. Dust your closet out. You got a Vince Carter.
So he was like a John Morant kind of superstar, like an off-court superstar.
Who?
Vince Carter.
He wasn't an off-court superstar. He was a highlight reel merchant. He was leading.
Yeah, I'm saying
ESPN.
John Morant. Like John Morant was a highlight.
Vince was a bigger deal than John Morant. Let's be
saying,
real
like,
now.
I'm saying similar. Like he wasn't a superstar because he was a 1A option.
Vince Carter 2001. The conversation around Vince Carter was, we got Michael Jordan Part 2. That was the conversation.
No, I'm saying I agree with you, but I'm saying Vince Carter wasn't like a 1A in the NBA. He was just a highlight.
He was a 1A.
Vince Carter was never close to as good as Michael Jordan, though. So
okay,
I don't care what they said.
Vince Carter through 3 years was absolutely in those conversations. He was rookie of the year.
What conversations? Like what are we talking about?
He got MVP votes as a rookie.
Okay, cool. I'm saying, like, what type of conversations?
MVP votes don't matter.
They matter now because it suits my narrative, so it matters now. That's what I'm saying.
All right, man.
All right, y'all.
I don't even know if he got MVP votes as a rookie. I think it was his first year or second year. Yo, for real, he led the entire league in value replacement in 2001.
VORP, you need the VORP. We care about the VORP.
Can we get that formula real quick? We got time
it's
for
basically
this,
box plus minus amplified over a season.
It's the next step to something you already couldn't explain.
I did explain it. You just didn't want to listen to what I got to say.
Yes, I did. I sat there for like 10 minutes listening to
and then you said you rejected it. But that's all good.
Because it was almost nonsense. Like it was
not common. Come on, man.
Yo, King.
It was nonsense.
What's going on, brother?
It's about time for that top 10, my man.
All right, let's get it. All time, correct? Not right now.
All time, yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, if
just
you,
making sure
you
we
have
have
a
the
current,
same page.
you have a current
No,
one?
I got an
No?
all-time
All right,
one.
cool. That's better. Let's do it.
All right.
All
so just remember, before y'all start going crazy, he asked for my list.
This ain't my list. This ain't Ox list. This ain't.
He about to have someone wild on the list.
This is
Hey,
yours.
Mark, you warming up right now?
I already know.
With that being said, King, just like everybody else, you have to explain yourself, sir. Just so we clear.
He gonna disrespect the GOAT. I can already feel it, but it's
as you were saying, go.
King, before you get into it,
okay,
is this about to be some bullshit?
No. Let's go.
It's just my opinion.
Like you,
no doubt.
As you were saying, King.
Let King speak his truth, man.
All right. So number 1, I have LeBron James. Number 2, I have Michael Jordan. Number 3, I got Kareem. 4, I got Magic Johnson. 5, I got Tim Duncan. I have Kobe at 7. Hakeem.
Whoa, 6. You skipped 6.
Yeah. My fault. I have Kobe at 6. Hakeem at 7. Steph, Joker, Shaq.
Okay.
So one more time.
We read the whole list over for you.
Yeah, one more time.
All right.
Not mad at that.
LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Tim Duncan, Kobe, Hakeem, Steph, Joker, Shaq.
I mean, you
missed
11 championships, but all right.
100% true. What did Joker do? My question to you is number 1, what is your criteria? That's number 1. And number 2, what did Joker do to enter your top 10? And when did he enter your top 10?
See, I want to say he entered my top 10 last season. If you would have asked me this a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, I would not have said that. My criteria, I like
2 years ago when he won the NBA championship.
Who did he bump? That's what I want to know. Who did he bump to 11?
I think at that time I had Bird at like the very edge. I had Bird.
You got Jokic over Shaq. It's interesting.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily over Shaq.
How?
Yeah.
How is this?
So my criteria. So the way I looked at it for my list, was people who changed the game. Obviously, talking about accolades is not just championships. That's why I had LeBron. Listen, at the end, Steph changed the game. That's why he cracked my top 10. Joker's changing the game, and he's dominant. Shaq's also dominant. And a couple of this is opinionated. I would say 6 through 10 is more opinionated, but my definite is LeBron through Kobe.
Mm-hmm. What does Scotty Barnes need to do to make your
Scotty Barnes?
What does he have to do to get to your top 10? How many championships you got to win? 3 MVPs. Okay.
2 championships, maybe.
Defensive player of the year. Gonna get there. He gonna get there.
You can minus a championship if he gets DPOY.
Okay, cool. I'll let him know.
So DPOY and championships
Scotty Barnes can make it, bro. What happened?
Championships and DPOYs are equal on your scale?
No.
Crazy.
But in this situation, you'll take
Bill Russell would have the most.
If it was Scotty Barnes, yeah, just for my man, I got you, bro.
Because I was just about to ask you. So if that's the case, then why isn't Giannis a top 10 player?
Yo, King just moved up like 10 spots in my all-time PC.
There you go,
right there, because he said Scotty had a chance. That's how I know he actually watching the hoops and not just following the tom-toms.
You feel me? Say that again, too. I didn't hear you.
No, I was just you had when you brought up that if you take out one of the league MVPs for defensive player of the year, I'm thinking, why isn't Giannis?
Because of that type stuff. I mean, Giannis, I feel like he started a little too late for me, bro. But he's like that though, and Giannis is like that though. Much respect to him. He's not cracking my top 10 though, bro.
He did. To be fair, he did start his run before Joker. To be fair,
that's true too. But it wasn't as dominant as Joker though. You see Joker, come on now, bro. That's a good point.
2 league MVPs.
Joker's unstoppable, though.
Run more dominant than Shaq's.
How long did it take Steph to get started?
No.
Was it 5 years?
I mean, but I think dominance is not the word to use.
I feel like I don't know.
I mean, I do think that if Joker continues this year, he's going to have a 5-year regular season run that I think is going to be hard to top for anybody. But I don't know if that doesn't mean like more dominant, like just better. Like in this era, in this game, you'll have to weigh him versus Shaq in the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, Michael in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I think the Larry Magic runs, like the LeBron. I think LeBron 9 to 13 runs. I mean, that's kind of where we are with Joker. It might not be those, but it's whatever is after that is kind of where we are.
It's a good point.
Can you explain to me how Magic gets to 4, but Larry Bird is in top 10?
Larry Bird, Magic? Okay, so I'm basing that off of Magic Johnson. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went out, and he had to play center, and we all know that story. I don't got to go into detail about that. Correct. Magic has 5 championships, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Yes. I think Magic was another transcendent generational player. I think he's also better than Larry Bird, if you ask me.
Yep.
That's how I put him there.
Sure. Now, for the record, Bird was better than Magic for a long time. Bird wasn't better than Magic for like a year or 2. He's better than Magic for a while. For a long time, he was better than. And again,
you feel me? Like I'm not going to disagree with you, Chill.
I just want to educate you on what Bird was. And
Bird was better. I mean, I think if we had it.
It's fine to disagree with that if you think Magic was better than Bird.
Yeah, that's all.
My issue is just Magic at 4 and Bird not on the list. That's not
right.
Issue.
Yeah,
Bird was at 8 or 9.
I don't really care. Like, whatever.
Yeah, but I will say though, I think the thing is, Magic had the LA market, the smile, all that stuff behind him. Bird, I think the thing I had to learn about Bird after I knew way more about Magic getting into the NBA media game than Bird. But once I actually like really got into Bird, and I was just like, I mean, it helps he's the Celtic, but again, it's the white boy tax in the 80s. Even though however great he was still a white boy versus Jordan, Charles, Magic, Hakeem, all these dudes. But like, if you just go back and watch Larry, like Larry legitimately like was he was sunning Jordan, like sunning these dudes. He was like literally like amazing in almost every series he played in, except for that one title run in the finals. But outside of that, I mean, he was excellent versus everybody in any situation I mean, but I just think that like people are just not as connected to Bird because of like we just haven't watched him. Like we don't have the highlight machine running when we're young like we do for Magic for Bird. I mean, it's just not.
And we also got rid of the quote unquote white boy thing. We got rid of that in '88 after when Isaiah said that. We got rid of that because that was a narrative early on, but then people started to analyze Bird's game a lot more, recognizing that this dude is super duper nice.
Well, remember they do it now though, because I think the question about Bird is could he play in this era given like the lack of athleticism, quote unquote, and all that.
Luka could play today, Bird would kick ass in today's game.
Yeah, I agree.
Question about it.
Let me ask a question. Chill. Who's your top 10?
James, Jordan, Jabbar,
Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, Diesel.
There you go.
Why? How come you don't have Joker in there or Steph?
Because Joker hasn't passed Moses Malone yet, so we don't worry about it. We don't worry about it. We don't worry about
Chill's a little bit of an he's a little
we don't worry about top 10s.
He's a historian. He is a steward of the game.
Like,
he's not antique.
Chill is the same person who I love. I don't know if Joker ever will do it because Chill thinks Wilt and Joker were same level passers. Like I don't think like I think for him
at 4, so like,
I know, but
he has Wilt at 4.
Chill is very skewed towards his growing up and his experience growing up. He even said Joker and Charles were like similar defenders and all that stuff. I mean, it's just I don't know if that's going to change. I genuinely don't know if that's going to change. Okay. Even with other MVP this year, Joker could win 4 and 5.
Steph can't get him because he's not better than Kobe, and he has Kobe at 11. So Steph's just stuck at 12.
Right.
So I know people hate.
He has Kobe at 11.
Yeah, he has Kobe at 11. He has Brian right outside the top 10 at 11. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I also have Kobe outside my top 10.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
bro.
But both of you guys are haters. So like.
That's interesting, bro. But I mean,
I'm not even going to ask why Bill Russell's not on the list. We understand. The GOAT is going to keep getting disrespected, but real ones.
King, I do just want to acknowledge Larry Bird bust Jokic's ass. I just gotta put that out there.
No, he won't.
Larry Bird.
No, he might on offense.
Jokic is the more sound comparison for Larry Bird than
I do too. I agree too.
Respect Arvydas Sabonis, man.
Why do you think
Arvydas Sabonis made it so high up my list? That's because that's the perfected version of Nikola Jokic with more athleticism, more size. And
but again, for me, King, it all ended. Like I already said, Joker's one of the 10 best players I've ever seen. It all ended when James Worthy came out and said that he's a mix between Magic and Kareem. Like he's never seen anything like him before. So like
at all.
That's why I trust the NBA greats that all say he's one of the best players he's ever seen, including Durant. I mean, I trust them over like people.
I'm on record saying that Joker would have bust.
No, they say he's like 10. Like he's a top
10
solidified greatest they've ever watched, and they played against other legends. I'm saying I would take their word over a guy in New Jersey who's a reported 49ers fan.
Now you take that
but
word.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Shout out.
When it's conducive, right?
When it consolidates your beliefs, all of a sudden that word.
I think, but I would say that stuff matters. I do think some of that reputation stuff matters, respectfully.
For sure.
Jokic is great. I don't want to take away from Jokic's greatness at all.
Yes, you do.
I would like to hype it up.
Ron, I think you think Russ is higher all time than Joker is.
It's just I'm leaving Russ out of
crazy.
this.
I'm being honest about that. I think you genuinely believe.
I don't know. I'll have to do my list, but I'm leaving Russ out of this. I'm talking about certain guys that I know are better than Jokic. And like it's a dude by the name of. I'm gonna start with one guy, a dude by the name of Kevin Garnett. That I'm not
better than Jokic.
I'm not going to definitively say that Jokic is better than Kevin Garnett.
Why not?
As great as you guys say Jokic is on offense, as great as you say he is on offense, Kevin Garnett is just that good on defense.
No, he was not the best. He's
not
in the conversation. I will say he's in the.
You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the best defender. You don't have to be the best defender to have the same amount of impact.
No, that's not how it works. That's what you're juxtaposing him to.
No, because this is what I'm saying.
If KG does not have the same defensive impact that Jokic has offensively,
this is what I'm saying. Though this is what I'm saying. If in 2030 some guy comes along and ends up being a better offensive player than Jokic, that doesn't take away from how great Jokic was on
that offense. Means they're the best offensive player ever, and but you should all acknowledge that.
So listen. First off, I don't think Jokic is the best offensive player ever, like you guys.
Who do you think is the best offensive player ever?
You think Giannis is close to him on offense? So like This is not even
James is the best
thing.
offensive player.
Yeah, but Ron's below
LeBron
James never. But we have real ways of measuring this. This is what I'm telling you. Like, a lot of this comes down to
analytics. Just because your box
Yeah,
plus
you ain't
minus
seen the
in your
box plus minus.
just because your box plus minus and VORP is through the roof, that doesn't mean you're the best.
Ron, it doesn't have to be analytics. I'm telling you that if we ever saw, I don't even know. Like if, and again, everybody knows how I feel about Mike. I've been very thorough about how I feel about Mike. If there was ever a player I could have imagined in my brain that could give me 30, 12, 13, and 10, shooting 50, 40, 80, and then being one of the best passer playmakers we've ever seen, I couldn't even have dreamed of that player existing. I thought when we saw Russ, Ron, that was it. I thought that was it. There was no more 30, 10,
that's
10,
what I'm saying,
nothing.
though. In 2030, we're going to see somebody
and he's doing
that
this
might be
the credit to be called the best offensive player ever. Like,
I'm not. Y'all can say that, but it's also other people that can be the best offensive players ever.
No, I'm saying you give them credit all the time.
They ran an offense through Shaq.
But the offense never functioned at this level.
At this level,
no, but I want you to hear me, Chill. This is how unbiased I'm going to be. I'm saying that, like, if 2032 comes around and Wemby or whoever, some 15-year-old kid who's not sniffing anything, he can be a second-round pick just like Joker, maybe extend the draft to a third-round pick, and then they come in the NBA, and then all of a sudden, like, they're literally like better than anything we've ever seen offensively, and you have a 5 years of tracking data that said they're the best offensive player in the sport ever, let alone in the league currently existing. They're averaging 35, 14, and 12 on 60, 59, 92. And you're asking me, are they the best offensive player or this is the best offensive team? Then yes. But to me, that's not an affront to Jordan. Jordan is Jordan. LeBron is LeBron. But they weren't as good an offensive player as player X is. Like, remember, Chill. And remember in 2K when we were, not you were kids, but like I'm saying when you were younger, right, or whatever. Michael Jordan was player number 23. They didn't have his license, so he was player number 23 and a bald black dude with no name. That was the best player on the game. He was better than anybody else. That for me, that's just where Joker is. It's just like this is where we are.
So Joker's skill set.
Joker's. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go, Joe.
So Joker's skill set. Joker's skill set is how they run their offense. That's why they run their offense the way that they do. When you enhance Shaq's skill set, you enhance his skill set with the triangle, running guys off of him, action off of him. And I'm not gonna argue that Shaq is the passer that Joker was. No, I'm not gonna argue that at all. But the other stuff, when I think about how good Shaq was around the basket, in the mid-range, in transition,
he wasn't
on the
good,
block,
but he had limitations all over the place outside the paint.
And with that, and Joker has limitations.
I'm asking you dead honest. This season, what limitation did Joker have offensively this year?
I mean, if we're going off,
so 2000 Shaq. So take 2000 Shaq, 100%.
Right,
best offensive year. What limitation does Joker have offensively this year?
I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. Because what I'll do more than anything is I'll take what Shaq was great at over anything that Joker didn't have limitations on.
This is what I'm asking you, Chill.
I will take what Shaq.
I need you to answer that. No, Chill. Hold on. Because this is what I mean.
Even if you are more complete,
Chill, I'm not trying to settle an argument. You can take it. I'm just asking a basic question. What are the limitations that he has shown this year offensively?
I don't know if that long ball is sustainable. I don't know.
No, that's cool. But I'm saying based on what you're seeing, Chill.
Right.
I'm not talking about hypothetical.
Based on what I'm seeing now. Right. Based on what I'm seeing now, it doesn't look like there are a lot of limitations. But what I'm also saying,
I'm asking you to name a limitation.
I don't know.
I know, but I just want him to name one.
Him shooting the long ball the way he's doing. I'm saying Pin, please. Like, is he maybe in March? You'll listen to March sometimes. I'm saying that, like, I just want you to narrow in on what's happening. Like, Shaq in 2000 was the most dominant interior scorer the league had ever seen. But he could have fallen off in game 65. But based on the 65 games where he didn't do that, and based on the 42 games or whatever, 37 games we have from Joker that he's doing this. What limitation have you seen offensively in his game this season at all? Like, what are they? Him shooting the long ball. That's just about it. That's
chill.
Are we defining the word limitation differently?
It's what it seems like.
No, we're not. Because again,
you're just saying you're skeptical about it keeping, but I mean
that's what I'm thinking about. Like
I'm asking about now, though. Like that's what I'm confused.
But see, that's the problem, Swiper. No, you don't have to. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, Swiper. You are so short-sighted when it comes to this sort of stuff because you are right now, and I can appreciate what right now is going off of. When I think about what Shaq was doing during that time, that's sustainable. Him playing around the basket and him being dominant around the basket, that's sustainable. Joker shooting the long ball at the rate that he's shooting the long ball at right now. Is that sustainable?
No, but I don't think Shaq pick and roll sustainable. Is Shaq hitting free throws? Hang on.
No, he's not a bad shooter. He's not a 48% three-point shooter neither.
Wait a second. Chill.
Now, chill. I can agree with that. Chill. I can agree with that.
Is Shaq shooting free throws sustainable?
Right. So that's his weakness in his game. That right there, that's the weakest part of his game. I think that's the weakest part of his game.
No. What's more important?
If there was a big, not named Nikola Jokić, if there was a big who shot the three like Jokic, would you say the 3-point shot is a weakness in his game?
If he did everything else like Joker,
Alperen Şengün
right,
shot the three like Nikola Jokić, and someone asked you, what's Alperen Şengün's weakness? Would you say 3-point shooting is a weakness?
Is a weakness.
I would not say that.
So then that means Nikola Jokic's 3-point shot is not a weakness.
It's a weakness in his game. It's sustainable.
A weakness is not relative. It's something you are not. It's something you are not good at. The thing you are worst at does not mean you are not good at that thing. You can be the worst. Your worst attribute doesn't mean you are bad at that. That just means that's what you are worst at. Jokic's worst attribute on offense might be his 3-point shot. That does not mean he is a bad 3-point shooter. And when someone asks what a limitation of someone is, it's not what their biggest flaw is. It's what is something that they are not good at. So I'm opposed to
that's what I'm trying to get you to just narrow down on.
Okay, sure, Mark.
Jokic is not good at.
Right.
I don't even think it's the 3-point shot.
No, Ron, I just want him to answer. He said it.
He has zero.
Yeah, I just tell me. No,
Ron,
Ron, let him answer, then you answer. Chill. Tell me an actual, real weakness he has offensively right now, and take the 5 years. I'm saying, you saying once? Take the last 5 years. What weakness has he shown offensively?
Of Joker as the weakest part of his game is his long ball.
No, chill. No. Hold on. Pin. Because I know. Because chill. Pin.
You're asking me.
Chill, this is important. You have to be able to answer this straight up. I'm saying name a weakness, not something you feel like it's not going to sustain itself, not the weakest part of his game.
Is that he's elite at everything.
No, I'm not asking you.
I'm asking you to name the thing he's not good at. That's what we're asking you to do.
Swiper,
what he the worst at.
No, Ron, no. Chill runs around with this.
Doesn't know.
Ron, then you have to give him the ability to say that. You can't speak for him.
May I?
Go ahead, Joe.
He doesn't have a weakness right now. There is nothing weak in his game. Just like Jordan.
So in the last 5 years, you're saying he has not had a weakness offensively.
No, I'm not saying that.
He's not a lob. He's not a lob threat.
And that's what I was going to get at. It's just athleticism.
I'm nitpicking, I guess.
I won't say the reason why I won't say
nitpicking.
The reason why I won't say athleticism is because he uses his athleticism to the best of his ability, and he actually uses it as a strength to drag big guys away from the basket, not just to drag big guys away from the basket.
So
he uses his strength.
So
I don't think his athleticism actually hinders him in offense.
No, it doesn't.
The lob threat thing I do think is valid. Like that would be the one thing I would say. He can't play at the dunker spot and do those things.
He does finish elite around the basket.
No, he does finish.
He might not play above the rim, but neither does NBA.
It still deters him, though, Chill. Like if I can't just go up and dunk over somebody like Giannis or Shaq,
I get it, but
it's a limitation. I'm not saying it.
Clutch free throws as well, but that's a whole
that's a fact. But this is why I'm saying that, like when Chill gets into these binds, this is why it for me and him, we have to have a conversation. We have to get to the point, and you have to answer the point. Because when you're comparing Joker to other offensive players, including Jordan, and you're saying LeBron did this, and I'm saying I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt what LeBron's actual limitations were, and when he solved some of those for duration.
Joker doesn't have any limitations. Yes, he does.
Ron, stop. Ron, you have to stop. Chill. Just tell me what they are then.
Lob threat. We just did it.
No,
I told you he doesn't have one.
He does have some limitations,
right?
Like he does have limitations,
he does not. And I want to make sure that I reference this point to Swiper again and again. Swiper, he does everything. He does a bunch of things great, but there are some things in his game. Ultimately,
so what are they? What is the limitation offensively?
I'm not just gonna leave him on the offensive side of the basketball.
But that was no. Chill, don't do that. Chill. No, Ron, don't save him. Don't save him, Ron. Don't save him, Ron. Chill. I asked you.
You're trying to tell me that Joker is where Joker is because he's an elite offensive player, better than everybody
all I
else.
asked you the original. No, Chill. You're just talking over me because you're trying to make another point.
No,
I asked you directly. When did other players do this offensively ever? I said no one has done this offensively. I didn't bring up defense. I didn't even talk about that side of the ball. Your pushback was you've seen LeBron do this, and I'm saying what limitations does Jokic have offensively that you think LeBron was doing this is what I'm trying to find out.
LeBron was doing everything, and I don't think that he was doing everything in terms of shooting the long ball, passing the basketball, scoring in the clutch. He was doing all of those things. He did not have any limitations when he was at his best. Mm-hmm. When he was at his best, he was able to knock down the mid-range. He was able to knock down the long ball. He was great downhill. He was great as a distributor. He was great at all of those things. There were no limitations in James's game at this juncture of his game, which is what you're trying to sell me about Joker right now. And James at 29 years old, I think that was
29 was the 14-15 season.
And James in 2019, I'm sorry, James at 29 years old, he turned 29 in 2000.
He shot 39% in the NBA Finals and couldn't make a three.
Yeah, but 14, you comparing age.
I know, but I'm saying, I guess I'm doing. I started with 12-13.
100%.
No, I started 12-13. So no, I started off with the
So let's go back to James. So let's go. Just because Joker's 29, that doesn't mean that James his best.
Well, I started off 12-13. I didn't go to 29. I just went to 12-13.
Well, that's where I'm going. And when James.
But that was 1 year. You just said don't take a limited sample size. That was 1 year.
Yeah, but Swiper, you also just busted took it down to a 6-game sample size though. Like you keep talking about the finals, talk about the whole season.
I only brought that up one time.
Even if we concede to
Swiper, why though? Why bring it up at one time at all?
Because he brought up the age.
Having weaknesses doesn't mean you're better than someone with weaknesses. Like even if we were, for the sake of argument, willing to concede that Jokic has no offensive weaknesses, because I've made that case before when we did the PCO. I do agree. I think Jokic is the only player with zero weaknesses offensively, especially when you look at it in the large scale of offense. If you start breaking down everything into the like minor details of offense, yeah, there's things he doesn't do great, such as like lob catching and stuff. But I mean, you look at finishing, he's elite. So like, if you break it down as small as possible, yeah, Jokic has minor flaws. But in the general sense, I think Jokic has no flaws offensively. But that doesn't mean that isn't the reason why he's the best offensive
100%.
player.
And I didn't even
he
get to
might
that
be
part.
the best offensive player ever. Like that's a whole different conversation. But just because he has no weaknesses, for the sake of argument, and other people do, that doesn't disqualify them from the conversation. Michael Jordan wasn't an elite three-point shooter, but he still has a horse in the race as the best offensive player. LeBron James, for a long time, wasn't an elite jump shooter. He still has a horse in the race as an elite
Chamberlain wasn't a good free throw shooter, but he's in the conversation.
Shaq wasn't a good free throw shooter.
There's a host of them. There's 6 or 7 players, I think, that deserve
like, you can still be in these conversations despite having weaknesses. So, like,
and that's the thing.
That's where I guess I disagree. That's
my stance wasn't that. My question derived from your point about the offense. You didn't answer your question. You did not answer.
I'm sorry, Swiper. To answer your question again, Joker doesn't have any weaknesses.
You didn't.
You literally. I'm answering it again, Swiper. Joker doesn't have any weaknesses offensively.
See, you chill. Sure. He do got some weaknesses.
Okay. Once again, Joker doesn't have any weaknesses.
How good is Jokic in transition without the ball?
Fantastic.
Great.
Transition. He's
great.
Really
I watched him outrun Anthony Davis.
No, chill. Just because I knew he was going to say that. Just because he's outrun AD a couple possessions doesn't mean
not a couple. Ops.
Is that what y'all do?
Not a couple, Ron. He did the same thing with Rudy Gobert too.
So Jokic is a gazelle in transition. Every game.
Nobody said he had to be a gazelle.
If I get a rebound and I throw an outlet to someone all the way down,
I will give him that.
Elite in transition.
I will give him that.
Like, do I need to score to be great in transition?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So when you factor that in, I will give him that. But a lot of times though, yeah, but he's not just throwing touchdowns every time he gets the ball. Full lobs. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Transition.
They're the best transition team in the sport.
A big part of the reason why they're so good in transition is because of Jokic and his outlets. He's also routinely just beating bigs down the floor in transition. So, like, yes, I think Jokic is elite in transition. Like, yes.
Swiper just said they're number one. Like, they don't have Russell Westbrook. Like, they don't have
I agree. I've given him his credit for why they're doing that.
It's a lot that goes in.
They're elite in transition 2 years ago and they won the title too.
Like Kevin Garnett's best season ever was 03-04. You could very, very reasonably make an argument that Jokic's last 5 seasons have been on par or better than that one season. Okay, so it's been great. I'm not.
Numbers wise. But once again, as you know,
why do y'all do that with Jokic? I never heard that with Jordan or LeBron. Numbers wise, like they were dominant.
This is what I'm saying.
They were great players.
If this is the little box I have, and I could just take people's defensive ticket and just drop it in the box, and then kick out all the formulas. Oh, this person is rated like this, and this on defense.
I know you're not capping for defense when you sit up here and cap for Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young. Come on, man.
Hey, both
never mention defense when I talk about them.
They've both improved.
What?
But we're having a the conversation started around offense. That's why this is weird.
The conversation started about him being a top 10 player ever. Yeah. And then I brought up
he's number 10. He's number 10. Rightfully so. He's going to keep climbing.
That's what I brought up Kevin Garnett, and you took it directly to offense.
That's it.
We can do the defense. There is no ignoring the defense.
Keep getting close.
I don't even. You don't have to. This is my point. Chill. He's a worse defender than everybody else that's in the top 10. Maybe outside of Steph Curry.
Top 20, top 30, top 50.
No, we ain't doing that, bro. Because he's so good.
Top 50. He's the worst defender in the top 100.
Come on, no. I can. Magic Johnson was not a stopper. Steph Curry is also not a stopper. But again, I think this is also where we are. There's never been. This is what I'm saying. Like maybe when we get down the line, we can say like there's a new iteration of bigs that are not traditionally like known as rim protectors, and then you can measure him against something. But I think because there's no one else to weigh him against, this is why. And again, his effort, chill. I blasted him for what he did 2 days ago versus the Wolves. It was his footwork was horrible. He was being lazy. He was pouting, all kind of stuff. That stuff can happen, but he also doesn't get credit for when he actually does play very good defense. And I think that's where I don't really enjoy having basketball defense conversations about him because he's not a traditional rim protector, but he does some things really well and grades out positive for stretches, but it's not going to be included in the discourse about what makes him the best player in the world. So it's easier to stick to the offense because people don't even want to give him his due when he doesn't play trash on defense.
That's what I'm saying. Do you give Giannis his credit when he shoots 80% from the free throw line for a game?
For a game, Giannis was 16-17 in NBA Finals in Game 6. That matters.
Okay. And do you give him his credit when he does that?
He had 50 points and made all of his jumpers in that one game. That matters.
All right, big man, relax. Because I'm saying that just to say.
Chill. It's just of course you get credit.
I'm saying that just to say. Just because the nigga shot 17 for 18, he's still not a good free throw shooter.
Yeah, but do you say Giannis is a good free throw shooter because he has games where he makes free throws?
No, but I also don't think Giannis is a good free throw shooter. I would never say that though. Like, I think people
would call Jokic a good defender.
No. This is what I'm saying. This is where we start doing the disingenuous comparison.
You see.
I've heard him do it. I've heard you say Jokic is a good defender.
I think he's saying
he's had stretches and series of being a good plus defender, including the NBA Finals.
Giannis has had stretches and series of being a good free throw shooter.
But he's great. But Giannis has never graded out as a positive free throw shooter. At least I'm aware. Maybe 2 years ago he did. Jokic is graded out as positive defender.
Free throw tracking is a lot easier of a stat to track. It can't be manipulated.
Pretty sure this is Giannis's worst free throw shooting.
Defensive stats can be actively
backwards with him.
Meanwhile, he's been the best in the mid range.
Defense, look, man, like there's certain defenders. They're very loud. There's loud defenders. Okay, guys who pressure the basketball, guys who block a lot of shots. Those are loud defenders. Those guys who are always in the passing lane. Those guys who are communicating. Those guys who are solid positionally, get the rebounds, do the box out, do the dirty work. They don't get a lot of credit for defense, but they're participating. And, Jokic is not a bad defender. He's not a good defender.
I'm tired of hearing this, yo. Because I'm telling you, if it wasn't for that offensive side of the ball, he would not touch the floor.
If
If he was Zubac on offense, if he was Zubac on offense,
You're right.
I'm telling you, if he was Zubac on offense, he would not be on the floor.
That's not true.
He wouldn't. I'm here to tell you. Y'all will be talking about him like Yusuf Nurkic. Y'all will be talking about him like Nurkic. Oh, he doesn't deserve to be on the floor.
Now you spitting, Ron. No, Ron. Now you spitting. That boy don't do nothing on defense. He be standing there watching guard play the ball.
Someone else, but how much? So what does that say about?
Might be a better defender.
Say about Joker's game?
If he wasn't for that offensive passing ability, he wouldn't be nothing but a fat water boy.
Exactly.
A water boy.
Exactly.
So what does that say about Joker's
Alex
game?
Lynn is a better
Now,
defender.
Get that hate out of your heart,
He's
Ron.
bad on defense.
Alex better than Jokic.
Right, if he's that bad on defense, what does that say about Joker's game offensively, then, Ron?
If that boy couldn't throw a no-look pass, he'd be sitting
And if
right next
grandma had
to.
balls, she'd be grandpa.
Those ain't no look passes. He be looking in and turning away.
Shit.
No.
He's not throwing Halliburton no looks. Let's not do that. He's not throwing Halliburton no looks.
Come on.
So
man.
again, this is what I mean, Ron. This is going to be one of the weirdest conundrums for a lot of people, especially people like you. If he wins MVP this year, he can have 4 MVPs and a title, and then there's still going to be people that are saying, detractors that were saying, even though he deserves as a basketball player, I think he's one of the 10 best basketball players I've ever seen. But he will be by far the most excoriated player of that ilk, because I think no one will ever actually think that he is a part of that class because of the defensive liability he can possess, which I think is fair. If that's because Mars convinced me a couple months ago, if people think that a big has to be an elite rim protector to be one of the top 10 players of all time, then Jokic would never be a top 10 player for you ever, which is fair. That's completely fine.
I have to Google excoriated.
Break down the word excoriated. EX exclusive.
Well, yeah, I googled it. It means like most he's saying Jokic should be the most criticized of the
top 10. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think
exit going out.
LeBron James.
Anyway, Bron, as you were saying,
no one questions LeBron's like place in the top 10. Though is what I'm saying.
They question Kobe's.
Yeah, but I think Joker's better than Kobe. So I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It sounds like Kobe's getting excoriated right now.
You don't even have Joker in your top 11. Get out of here, casual. Watch out. Move. Go on. I'll call you. I'll call you later.
Just getting excoriated on live air. Like, what we doing?
All right, y'all. We got a super chat from Drip Bayless. He said, if you take out your feelings, remove both franchises with their GOATs, which team has had more success? You can use winning seasons and playoffs, but I'm really just looking for options. Cavs or Bulls?
So without Jordan and without LeBron, which franchise is more good?
Which Cavs? Second Cavs? Got to be the second Cavs.
The Cavaliers in franchise history.
Bulls. Bulls are more successful because they still have Pippen. They still have Derrick Rose. They still have that MVP. But I mean, the Cavs had Craig Elo, and they had some good players too. Shoot, Mark Price. I'm gonna say the Bulls.
I don't know. I feel like we're just finding more ways to talk about the GOAT conversation. At some point, we're not bored. So it's gonna be like, see, the Bulls without MJ were nothing. So that means he's more valuable.
Yeah, but they got 6 championships. How many championships did the Cavs get?
At some point, we're gonna get bored of just finding different ways to find a way to talk about MJ and LeBron. If I'm being honest. Especially when
I guess I really rate.
So wait, we're talking about the Cavs.
If Jordan and
LeBron
never existed,
and Bulls without Scottie Pippen, who would be more successful?
Yeah, without the franchise GOATs, yeah. So without Scottie Pippen and LeBron. Yeah.
So without Scottie or without Bron.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just still I
think Jordan and the Bulls probably have more success.
Anytime we talk about Jokic, he's the only one that gets the tax for we just don't have to talk about defense. It's just
that's not true. That's not true. You guys will never bring up Magic Johnson's defense. I've tried to have that.
I bring up Magic's defense.
I've tried.
Magic Johnson wasn't that bad.
Magic Johnson led the league in steals. Like you guys act like he wasn't.
Well, at least he led the league in something. At least you guys.
I never bring that up, Mars. I never bring up the steals.
Every time you guys try to act like he's not a bad defender. So
Jokic is top 5 in steals.
I think in all these
by the way,
Magic is for sure better defender than Jokic.
Like Jokic is the only player who we just ignore defense for. You guys actively try and rewrite history.
I don't ignore defense for Magic. I actually believe that Magic was an all right defender.
And Swiper believes Jokic is.
But
top 5 in steals, bro.
Like Jokic is the only one who gets this treatment. There are Steph Curry fans.
How do you explain Jokic being a 0 on defense?
So that's delusion. That's delusion.
I'm with you guys that Jokic's defense doesn't get brought up enough in the context of comparing him to all-time greats. That's fine. Because I do think if you are a negative on defense, that should be brought up. But what I'm not with you on is acting as if he's the only one who gets that treatment. He's not. All of the one-way players in the top 10 get that treatment. Bill Russell's offense gets brought up a lot when they talk about his all-time case. Magic Johnson's defense gets brought up. Steph Curry's defense gets brought up. And Jokic's defense get brought up. By the people who cap for them or glaze them or maybe overrate them or are just huge fans of them, they will dismiss the weakness of their guy's GOAT case. So people will dismiss Bill Russell's offense or say, you know what? Bill Russell wasn't that bad offensively. You know why? Because I've done that. I'll be like, well, as a playmaker, he was the hub of the offense. He was actually quite involved. The transition he was starting, like that was valuable. I've done that. When it comes to Steph Curry, they'll be like, well, he was great in passing lanes. He's a really good team defender. He was active. He gave effort. When it comes down to how they hide Steph Curry, he was really good at making sure he couldn't get attacked. I've made that argument. When it comes down to Magic Johnson, you talk about passing lanes and he played the center in that one game, or he was a really good rebounder and all of those things, 6'9", legitimate size. That gets brought up. When it comes down to Jokic, active hands in the pick and roll, he gets deflections and he gets a lot of steals. I think he's top 5 in the league in steals. So all of you guys lie or make or exacerbate you guys' weakness in the GOAT argument.
Who's lying?
Everyone does. Or exacerbate your guys' weakness in the GOAT argument. Because that's just how it goes. Like, people are going to make it seem like their guy's weakness isn't as weak as people make it seem. Jokic isn't the only one who gets that treatment. And Jokic isn't the only one whose defense gets ignored for the sake of an argument.
This be good
Yeah,
time
but
to tell you
Magic
that
is
Arvidas
better than
Jones have an
Jokic.
80-inch
That's
vert.
what I'm trying to say.
Anytime Steph Curry's name gets brought up in all-time great conversations, no one's like, but he's the worst defender.
Well, I don't push Steph propaganda like that though. So it's like
I thought that was
you can't
propaganda
say
like
Jokic
that.
is the only one who gets that treatment. That's my point. That was my disagreement. Not that Jokic.
Yeah,
doesn't
Ron,
deserve the treatment,
you can't
but my
say that. You
disagreement
can't
with
say
saying
that.
Jokic's the only
But
one
what
who
you
gets that
can
treatment.
say
That's just not true.
is point out the fact that Magic Johnson and Steph Curry are better defenders than Nikola Jokic.
I don't know if I would agree, but I don't know if I would disagree. So
I mean, rebounding is a part of defense.
No, it is
It's not.
not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not
God
those two,
damn.
so
No,
we
it's
disagree.
not.
We disagree.
Okay, cool. You go out there.
If you're
and- let me ask you a question, Ron.
If rebounds
If
are part
you
of defense,
ban
then Jokic-
defensive
then Jokic is
rebounds,
all
your
defense.
team will surrender
Then Jokic is all
500 points.
Because that
If you ban defensive rebounding,
Yeah, if you can't get a defensive
Passing
rebound,
is
if
part
your
of,
team is
of
not
Demontis
allowed
is
to
all
get defensive
defense.
rebounds, how many
I'm
points
saying
are you
if
going to
it
give
is-
up? If you can't close a possession,
because
that's extra teams like in football.
Oz, you're a big man. You know that every defensive
Now, I
possession
know what I
ends-
know, and that's all I know, Pin. And I told you already, I don't look at rebounding as defense. I don't care what position I play. That doesn't change any of that. It's like football. You got offense, you got defense, you got special teams. I think rebounding is in that special teams category.
Is there anything else in the special teams, or is it just rebounding?
No, just rebounding.
Okay.
Jump
You know,
balls.
in my
health
jump ball.
as well. Health
Yep,
is
yep,
remember.
So you
health.
don't view offensive rebounding as part of offense?
No, it's not. It's special teams, but it gets you another possession back. It gets you a possession back, meaning it turns into offense. But the act of offensive rebounding is a special teams, just like how it is in football. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know that I can run. I can catch a punt and run it back and score, but I still don't look at it as offense. Like,
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
I obviously disagree with you, but I understand what you're saying. And I'm not going to try and convince you. Like, I'm never going to bring up this conversation, but rebound is part of defense and start arguing about it again. We just disagree. Like, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Steven sent through a members chat. He said, stop putting Josh Allen in Lamar talks. Lamar is greater than Josh.
Yeah, right.
They both in Cancun, so it don't matter.
Lamar not better than Josh, but okay.
Rashondas, Washington. Shout out my man Rashondas. Appreciate you for joining up, my dog. Appreciate everybody that's became a YouTube member today. Keep sending in chats and keep going. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And shout out to our Hall of Famers. Cobra Son of Raditz, Multi Kenny, Tracy Steele, and J Hub, our latest Hall of Famer. Once again, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks. And shout out to everybody on Twitter. J Dot said, nothing to say except go Birds. And if your team is not in the bowl game, shut your asses up and focus on the draft. Keep going, J Dot. Medved said Jokic top 4 in steals, top 3 in deflections, has elite court vision, positions himself well for defensive rebounds. How is he a negative on defense?
Yeah, that's one of our community members. Shout out to Medved.
Because there's nowhere he defends on the floor well. He doesn't defend the rim well. He doesn't defend the outside well. He doesn't defend the pick and roll particularly well. He can't play low man. He can't play weak sides. What he can do is use his size to hedge in a pick and roll, and everyone else can fly around behind him and save him. But that's not him being a good defender. In fact, it's him being a part of a scheme. Which
he can't move his feet and stay in front of nobody on the perimeter. None of that.
Anytime Jokic gets switched out on an ISO, watch him turn his head, start calling for help. It's funny. Just watch it. It's very funny.
I need me a lawyer, and I need me friends that defend me the same way you Jokic Glazers defend him.
Now, I think there's so much to say about how good Jokic is offensively, but when people start lying about him being like a good defender as well, like you lose me, I think.
Defense works on a string of 5 players. So how you participate in that, your vision, the vision that he has for offense also goes towards defense. He calls out plays. He's consistently communicating with his players where they should be, what plays he's seeing. So I refuse to believe that that's just not relevant to the conversation. It has to be relevant. You could say he doesn't guard.
Trae Young has elite vision too. So
I don't know how much he's communicating on defense. Not from what I saw.
I see him communicate.
What does he say? Help.
Help!
Help!
I can't hear him, but
help!
His mouth is moving, so he's talking for sure.
Ray B said, didn't catch the first part of the show, but the Mavs will be fine. They just played the toughest part of their schedule in only 3 games from the 5.
Yeah, you guys
are only 3 games from the world.
Yeah, you guys were acting like it was the end of the world before I was up here. The idea of using seeding in the Western Conference is like, oh, this team, this seed. It's like, at some point, we're going to have to just stop using that. Like, all it takes is the Mavs to go on a 4-game win streak and they're the 5 seed. It's like, oh, they're contenders. Like, the seeding in the West is just not relevant right now at this point. They're too bunched up. Other than OKC, who are like clearly number 1. Everything else, like, it doesn't make much of a difference.
All right, new super chat from Ray Star. Ray said Anthony Edwards called MJ for advice on how to beat double teams. Thoughts? And since the comments, he's been averaging 30 with elite 3-point shooting.
What do you think? What do you think MJ said to him? Grow a pair.
He said, "Figure out." That's probably what he said.
You'll
I don't know why MJ wouldn't be the person I would call when it comes to navigating double teams, but
who would you call?
Ghostbusters.
All right. Voice injury said, I know this will be read at the end of the show, but Ron, why don't you read super chats that pertain to the convo that is going on? It can add more to the conversations. You see, when Penn and Ox and Swiper are all in heated debates, as you guys can see, it's hard for me to even get in and say a word. It's impossible for me to stop everybody and say, hey, let me read this super chat and divert the argument. Now, I know that the super chat is related to the topic, but it might not be related to the point that Penn's going to make. It might not be related to the point that Mars is going to make, and it might just derail the whole argument. So I'm not going to stop a debate in what 2 guys are saying about each other to read a super chat.
It's interesting because Mars did it every time he hosted. Just saying.
Well, that's when Mars.
Yeah, but I'm good.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
You're holding Ron to impossible standards.
Exactly, and that's like trying to.
But I do find it interesting that you and Ox are on the same side of this Jokic debate, and y'all are the worst hosts we've ever had. I think that's pretty interesting. Maybe there's something to do with hating on Jokic and being a bad host. I don't know.
You know what? I'll stop hating on Jokic and maybe I'll become a better host.
Absolutely, it would.
Best offensive player ever.
Bam, you got better already.
Medved said European coaches have the best player development system because they focus on fundamentals.
And you read that all the way through, and you didn't even change any of the words because you be changing words all the time. I don't know if you noticed this, but you change words all the time.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do when you read. Zigsaw Puzzle said, if we are doing mileage math in every single series goes to game 7, Kawhi plays 1,344 minutes in the playoffs. That leaves him with 656 minutes in the regular season.
But that's assuming he plays 48 minutes in every single playoff game, which is very disingenuous math. But I get the overall point.
LaFlame said, during All-Star Weekend, will y'all be official media members with special access to interviews and stuff? Or just as fans? Dub Celtics, we just coasted.
We're there to just chill with the homeless. That's what we're gonna be. Just gonna be on the streets, just with the rest of them. Adding to the problem.
There you have it. Gregory said Canada loves the panel. P.S. More Raptors talk.
Music to my ears. Another community member. Seen a lot of our community members giving super chats here. Appreciate y'all, man.
We talk about the Raptors a lot, though.
It's because of me.
Yeah, but we talk about them a lot. We talk about them more than like if we went through we talk about the Blazers a lot too because DSG Piccolo. But if we went through all the bottom 10 teams, I would say we probably talk about the Raptors, if not the most, the second most.
Kareem calling me a Turkish slave, bro. Are you nuts? Fuck out of here.
You disagree
man.
with the Turkish part or the slave part or both?
I don't appreciate any grown man calling me a slave. Don't come at me with that, man.
Why would you do that, Kareem? Lock in. Don't do that.
Like these dudes get way too comfortable. Way too comfortable.
Yeah, get times up.
Talking nonsense on a fucking keyboard. Like don't come at me with that shit. Like, you've been talking nonsense the whole time, telling me I've been talking different since Trump came into office. Man, fuck out of here. Nuts.
Kwabe said the last season Kawhi played 68 games. That being considered, or he said last season Kawhi played 68 games. That being considered, if he plays less regular season games, why wouldn't he be ready for the playoffs?
Chill's argument for that is the playoff intensity is different. He just thinks Kawhi's body can't handle playoff intensity. It's less about the amount of games played and more about the intensity of the games he's playing. That's Chill's counter to the games played argument.
Fink Jones said this WNBA season is going to be incredible. I agree. Then he said, great box plus minus chat. By the way, dubs all over.
It's funny Chill gets confused by box plus minus, but will have no problem using VORP when VORP is just a derivative of box plus minus. That's always confused me. I don't think Chill knows that, and I don't want to burst his bubble. So I'm just letting him keep. I don't think
that bubble keep floating around.
Because VORP is just box plus minus. So it's very funny when he uses VORP.
Marcus FRM 626 said Denver don't want to see the Wolves again. Cat or no cat, we steal they kryptonite.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that game. That was a bad look for the Nuggets. Very bad.
Damn. Medved said Kawhi not as good as Scotty Barnes, taking care of business. Pin knows what's up.
Scotty Barnes gonna be the greatest Raptor of all time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Scotty got it, man. Lock in. We're going to the playoffs.
Carlos Hernandez said, I think the Rockets are going to be better than the Thunder these coming years. I like the grimy style of play.
I do. I think we have the best young core, like 23 and under in the NBA. But I don't think we're going to be better than OKC. I just think their top end talent is a bit too much with Chet and Shea. We don't have anyone who I think is going to be as good as Chet, let alone Shea. So, yeah, maybe a man. We'll see how we develop.
I'm high on him right now.
We'll see how
you put him in a tier above, and you said by himself, Derek Lively and Casey Wallace and Bilal Coulibaly. I feel.
For sure. Comfortably.
I'm not even saying that. Like, I mean, I think you need to give it some time. I do think Amen's above those guys, but like, I think Wemby's in a tier of his own, and then Amen's in a maybe atop the next tier of 4 guys.
I don't know how you could put Derek Lively in a men's tier, respectfully. I just don't know how you could do that.
I watched the finals.
Okay.
I mean, that's the toughest, stage. He's a rookie. You got to respect that. Plus, I know that he can shoot.
He was on a team that was able to get to the finals. If a men's on a team that can compete for the finals, I'm sure Amen Thompson will be impactful. Like, it's not his fault he got drafted.
I'm not saying Lively's better than Amen Thompson. I'm just saying, like, there could be a debate about these guys 2-3 years from now. I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, you were talking about going forward? I was talking about right now.
Like
right now, Amen is in a tier by himself in that draft. So it's Wemby, Amen by himself, and then everyone else can be.
Okay, got you.
Teddy Hart said OKC in Houston is gonna be like Ryu versus Ken for the rest of the decade.
Is that Street Fighter?
Ryu versus Ken. They were brothers, basically the same character. Just one was Asian looking and one was blonde for some reason.
Carlos Hernandez said, chill. Luka gonna be manipulating that defense easily, man.
I want to see a Dallas Lakers series.
And MJ235 said, besides Denver and OKC, who do the Lakers want to see in the first round?
Least want to see.
The Jokic trade is back.
Probably Dallas. Probably Dallas.
Dirty Dev said, I told y'all don't sleep on my Eagles. We beaten Mahomes and the refs in 2 weeks.
That's not what it said, but good job, bro.
Said my
Damn.
homeboy.
Love is love. Love is love.
Teddy Hart said, Dallas has been OKC's kryptonite. Without that second big, I like our chances against them now. They always have our number.
I really feel like Dallas needs to trade Maxi Kleber and get, maybe Omax Prosper or future pick into that and get someone like Kelly Olynyk or, I don't know, Cam Johnson. I don't know if they can get Cam Johnson, but they need to get a big man because you cannot rest your entire season on whether or not your only big man right now is going to stay healthy.
I have Jock Lando if they want him.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he's a serviceable body. I mean, they just signed someone out of the G League.
The 7'5" guy?
No, not Jamarion Sharp. Something Kelly. He led the league and he led the G League in blocks last year. I was looking him up earlier. Yeah, he's a rim running big who can't shoot, who blocks a lot of shots.
Oh, so Luka's perfect running mate.
Exactly, perfect.
Teddy Hart said, Ron, there has to be a happy medium between interrupting heated debates and waiting the last couple minutes to read super chats. By that point, the comment doesn't matter or isn't relevant anymore. No shade.
Is it worth experimenting with? I feel like they have a point.
We'll see if we can find a happy medium. We'll explore. Carlos Hernandez said, like I said, as long as we get healthy before the playoffs, I don't care for the 8th seed. Once fully healthy, look out. We don't need no trades.
What? Was that Carlos Hernandez?
Yeah.
He was talking about Dallas?
Yeah. Fanatic said, as a Mavs fan, this season sucks. They finally have depth, as you can tell, against their matchups against OKC. Injury bug just hit the Mavs badly. Styles Blackman said, talk to me, Ox. Does this trade make us better? Love Jewel. Hate to see KP go. At least we got a first-round pick and got bigger on the wing.
See, Ox can't talk to him now.
Ox wasn't going to say nothing relevant anyways.
That's probably
When's the last
true.
time we heard a good Ox take? Huh? I'll wait.
I think Ox makes a lot of good takes. I think you'd be hating.
He said Jokic isn't a good rim runner. He made a good take today. Shout outs to Ox.
DeSarmo said, call Chicago Kyrie for Levine and Kleber for Jalen Smith.
Trading Kyrie.
That's not happening.
Oh, man. Grandpa Town said, hope you give Utah State bench energy today. Did he?
No.
There you go. Ray Star said, Wolves versus Denver. We need it. Wolves in 6.
I'd be interested to see that series.
Motaz Musa said, thoughts on Kobe sidekick convo. Also, Mars Attack on Titans.
Long story short, I think Kobe in the first championship was a very clear second best player to Shaq's best player. 01 and 02, I think Kobe was still the second best player, but I do think they were closer in their standings. It was more Kevin Durant, Steph Curry than MJ, Scottie Pippen, for example. And then 03 and 04, I think Kobe was just the better player than Shaq. Although the fine was in 04, obviously doesn't Kobe in the greatest light, but generally over the course of the year, I think Kobe was the more impactful player. So
I dusted off my copy of NBA 2K1. Vince Carter was a 95 overall in NBA 2K1.
It was nice like that moment.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Kobe was a 93.
Oh, I heard enough. Vince Carter clears.
I
don't know.
MP13 said, Ron, you don't watch the Clippers. Don't start. All right, I'll stop. Boyd Century said, Ron turned me into a PP addict. I've lost hundreds. No homo.
You're addicted to PP?
PrizePicks.
I don't judge. Love is love.
Well, you lost 100 because you're following Ron. Stop following Ron.
Well, he lost.
Take the Jalen Green lesson
on PP.
Just take the Jalen Green lesson.
No, you take the Scotty over the assists, which you forgot to add today.
DeSarmo said SGA's on-ball D is such a myth, but he's great off-ball.
Yeah, I don't think he's a great on-ball defender.
Xavier said they got pinned as a mod before Marsh Talk Sports. Shaking my head. #racism.
I'm a mod. I just don't use my mod powers, but I am a mod.
Yeah, what you talking about? Willis. Yap Squad said Ron the GOAT. He does a great job for real.
Okay.
Nah,
Why you guys step?
Jokic
I'm trying to understand the Step Brothers picture of me and Swiper, but all right.
Your brothers. Grandpa Town said, Pin, would you rate Jokic the same if he was Albanian?
That's stupid.
Has there ever been an Albanian NBA player?
No, I don't think so. Albania is a really small country as well. I got nothing against Albanians. I dated an Albanian girl from last year of high school to second year of college. I got nothing. I had a lot of friends who were Albanian. I'm not like that. I don't discriminate on people based on where they're from and stuff. I don't care about that stuff.
DSG Piccolo said, Mavs need a big. I have one. DeAndre Ayton is available.
Might as well go get Yusuf Nurkic.
Drit Bayless said Jokic 3-point shooting lost them the series last year.
Yeah, it didn't help that he shot 27%. Or was it 27%, 21%? Some in the 20s. That didn't help at all. So
Ad with the super chat. Ad said Curry washed before LeBron. #sympathy all-star. Damn.
they all washed except KD. He not washed. That's my bet.
Football Breakdown said Joker passing very overrated. 09 Braun with his spacing.
See, talk about the defense. Don't talk about that, please. No, shut up. Pass it over.
Ad said, talk about the Timberwolves owning the Nuggets.
No.
Timberwolves kicked their ass. Enough said. Mo said Dub Harden FC and Ox is finally a believer.
It's about time.
Y'all got one. FIFA Boy said L Harden FC, L Mo for blocking me. Damn, Mo,
you can get blocked on YouTube.
You blocked him, Mo?
Oh damn. I made a mistake. Kobe Bryant was a 98 overall in NBA 2K1.
So you a liar. I knew it could be cleared.
I made a mistake. But he was 89 in 2000.
Just when we thought that people from your hometown don't lie. We got lied to. I knew we'd get down to the bottom of this before the show ended.
You weren't looking. I was investigating. I'm in a Google Drive right now looking up NBA 2K1 ratings. No, I thought I remembered him being a 93, but apparently, the 3 was an 8. My bad.
Dookie, ain't nobody block you. But anyways, it was amazing, y'all. We will be back again tomorrow. Before we get out of here, Time and Fam Jam said, shout out to Rob and other Canadians watching.
I'm Rob, and that's another community member. Yo, I actually plugged the fact that I was going to be on PC today on my late night stream. So I'm happy. I'm happy a lot of people showed up.
Shout out to the North, and shout out to all my Vancouver individuals, to all my Vancouver residents, the best city in Canada. Salute to y'all. All right, we'll be back soon, y'all.
All right. Shout out to Vancouver.